TenFour.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We got Josh Toy, episode 50 something, honestly. We haven't uploaded a few, so we'll see. But legend in the building. Oh, two OGs in the building, couple OG legends. Honored to have y'all both on. Got Matt with the assist today. So it's gonna be cool, man. I'm definitely excited to talk to you, Josh, about just the early days of scootering, Razor, Scooter Zone, just the tricks you were doing and the things you did first. I don't know if you like I have some knowledge of the super early days, but it's gonna be awesome to have Matt here as well to kind of like
I'll
do
guide you
his
through.
thing,
I'll be a tour guide.
But yeah, let's just start it off with, a quick intro, how old you are, where you're from, where you're at, and how long you've been scootering for.
So I'm 39. I'm from Norco, California, and I started scootering in October of 2000.
That's
So,
that's crazy you remember the month. Is there like a reason or like an event that happened?
well, basically, like I kind of got into scootering by chance. I was one of the dumb little teenagers running around saying scooters are gay and all that.
Yeah.
Um, I was training for BMX racing, and my team manager, well, he became my team manager with Razor. His name's Pete Lonkarovich. He's like a BMX and mountain bike legend, and
Damn.
so he was training me in BMX racing, and he came across an old VHS video called Storm Scooters, and it had a lot of the Team Razor guys in that, and he was like, "Hey, like, there's something here," and I was like, "Really? Like, come on." Like, and he's like, being really skeptical and everything, but I watched the video and I was like, okay, like nothing too insane, but I mean, it was right after the scooter came out, so it was still realistically just a toy, So,
Yeah.
but he pretty much said like, hey, like take the tricks that you're already doing on your bike, put them on a scooter, and then you'll be able to add more to it. And I think I can get you a sponsor, which will pay a little bit of money. We'll get some travel, free product, and all that. So I was like, all right, why not? And then
Yeah.
within the first week, I just fell in love with it. Like so much so that I even gave up BMX racing and
Damn.
did that full time. So
That's crazy. So you said it was like right when the scooter dropped. Were there like the Team Razor before that? Were they like prototyping and like filming on it, like some sort of Razor, or had it been like a couple years at that point, or
well, yeah, like the scooter came out in '99, and
you said
I don't,
2000 when you
yeah, that's when
started?
I started, like late 2000, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't, I don't know how they found their team riders. My guess is they found BMXers and skaters that could take to it, I guess. I don't know, but um, I'm not sure how Ali came across that. He was the
Oh
original Team
man.
Razor manager, um, so yeah, I don't know how he came across these guys. I know some of them were his buddies that like rode skateboards and stuff like that, but yeah, like they built up a pretty like solid team back then, and um, yeah, I don't know.
Let's
They
get into that. Who was the team before Josh Toy? Like I only know Jarrett Reed myself.
Yeah, there's Jarrett Reed, of course. Everybody remembers him. Well, maybe not everybody, but Jason Fry was the rider that I like really I watching him in Storm Scooters, I straight up I looked at every minute detail of how he did a tail whip because I liked the way he tail whipped compared to everybody else. It was just so clean. And so I watched every little detail, like how he kicked it, how he used his wrists to bring it around, like because at one point I like couldn't even tail whip, like I was trying and it just wasn't working. So I was just breaking down every little technique that he had. And but Derek Beckering,
Eric
Mark
Atkins.
Adkins,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
Mark
heard of
Adkins,
him.
the homie.
Okay.
Um, who else am I missing? Come on. Rogie Weiss, John Wilkening, uh, feel like I'm missing somebody, but Scott McCormick was on the team too. He was kind of like the second wave of riders that got added on, I'm pretty sure, but he was on the team when I got added on. Um, yeah, those are like the bigger names.
Damn,
So,
that's crazy, man. That seems like a crazy team. How long or do you keep up with any of them or most of them? Like, I'm curious how long that most of them actually rode for after that.
some of them kept it going for quite a while. I know Jarrett, he still rides occasionally, last I heard. Um, but he got really into mountain biking, and so he kind of stuck with that. Um, Derek Beckering no longer rides. He rides motocross, actually, freestyle motocross professionally. Um,
Damn.
Mark Adkins, he left scootering, started, well, technically he was still riding scooters when he started Fatal Clothing, but it was known as Emo Police. I still have the first shirts he made. But he started Fatal Clothing and Fatal blew up,
Yeah,
and he
that's
wasn't feeling
crazy.
the direction that they wanted to take the brand in. And so he ended up leaving that. Now he runs a brand called Rusty Butcher. They make like Harley motorcycle accessories. He makes like chain wallets and leathered goods and all that sort of stuff. And he makes everything by hand in house. So it's pretty
That's
sick.
cool. Yeah.
But
Fuck yeah.
yeah, as far as I know, like realistically, Jarrett's probably the only one that probably even touches a scooter nowadays.
Yeah.
Scott McCormick, I haven't talked to him in years, so I don't know what he's up to, but I doubt he's riding. Um,
Before we move past these guys, Josh, can you share your wisdom here as to what Jarrett, like, what were his first contributions? Like, I think it's like front flip, back flip. Was there anything else that he brought to scooters outside of that, or am I wrong on that?
Definitely the big one's the backflip. He was the first one to do a backflip on a scooter. He had a Guinness World Record for that, or
Damn.
still
Damn.
has.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, he started doing some front flips. Other than that, what he was really known for, he wasn't a very clean rider most of the time, and he couldn't get tech. Like he couldn't even double whip, which is crazy to me. He could flip whip, but he couldn't double whip. It made no sense to me. But I'd say he was one of the first riders that actually took it to like a bigger ramp, like going big. Like he was hitting the mini megas when they were not even known as the mega ramps.
On a
So
foldy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
modified either. That's the crazy thing. Not bolted folding mechanism, nothing. Just not even
That's
grip tape.
crazy.
He'd just go out with the razor oval
Yeah.
grip tape and just
Yeah.
send it like no fear.
Wait. Did you just
That's
say no grip
badass.
tape?
It's
He
badass.
ran the razor oval grip tape,
Fair.
but
Okay. Yeah.
that's basically no grip tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That's crazy, man. What about Ali? Shout out Josh Young, but he had mentioned he was like maybe the first guy to do whips and double whips and like if you know
Yeah,
anything about his whereabouts.
yeah. So Ollie, he doesn't ride scooters anymore, at least not seriously. He's still skateboarding. He's always been a skater. He still shreds. Uh, and he actually in I wouldn't say invented, but he got a hold of one of the first samples of the Razor Crazy Cart, and he developed the thing basically from the ground up. He made so many changes to it, and he sold it back to Razor. And now he's making royalties off the Crazy Cart for like the rest of his life. So I think he's doing very well. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
And he was like the first person to tail whip then? Is that like
Yeah, from what I've heard, yeah,
the
he was the
rumors?
first one, yeah, to do the both
Damn.
the single and the double whip, which is
Damn.
crazy because he's not even
Oh, I had no
technically a
idea.
scooter rider.
Yeah. He was just tapped in at Razor, so probably like one of the first guys to even get a scooter then.
Yeah, he had
Damn.
steady, access to scooters, and he had the guys right there. So, and
Damn.
he's multi-talented. Anything he really like gets into, he does pretty well in. Like he's
That's
a great
awesome.
artist.
Yeah.
So,
Just one of those guys.
yeah.
That's cool, man. Um, so yeah, there's a lot I want to get into, but real quick, like, so it obviously just starts with the foldy. When does like the next version of the Razor come out?
Um,
Was it the Pro model second or the,
yeah, which I mean, realistically, like it was the A model, and then they made the B model, which was a little bit longer and more squared versus like the angled dropouts. Um, and the Pro model, all it really was a B model with a couple upgrades. It was nothing too crazy. Um, yeah, it was basically just full deck grip tape and a double clamp. That's
And
that's really
before
all
you
they
go
did.
further, too, I feel like what happened is it was like A model, B model, and then they refined the A model to cut back on costs. And this thing got really crappy. And then they made the Pro model. Was that like, because I remember, dude, I had a couple of those A's and I was like, it broke on me within days, you know? And is that what happened, right?
It was, yeah, well, I believe if I remember correctly, the B or the Pro model was already being worked on, but the AWs, that's the model you're talking about with the steel folding system, and that thing
Yep.
was trash.
That was
But
trash.
the deck felt okay. It was a little short, but that actually opened up a little bit of a market because I made the first modification to that deck. I actually unbolted the AW folding system, drilled it out. I cut the welds on the B model deck, snapped the rails off so that I can mount it to the AW deck. And I actually started
Told
a
you, Austin.
company. Yeah,
yeah.
I started a company called Take Three Scooters, and I was selling modified scooters.
How long would it take you to modify a deck?
Uh, I didn't have the greatest of tools. I was pretty much just using whatever my dad had laying around the garage, and
Yeah.
I wasn't very proficient with using them, at least the power tool part of it. So like drill bits would go dull pretty quickly, and that's, I mean, it's aluminum, but still, like, uh, it would take me a good afternoon to get
Yeah.
everything. But I didn't just do the deck though either. Like I would, I mean, if you want to call it reinforced, I reinforced the forks with like a wooden dowel, which was like a big trick back then. Everybody thought that they'd get more life out of their forks if they did that. But other than that, the thing that I think took
Yeah.
the longest was I took the suspension fork off of the B1 scooter. And so the way that the fork's built, there's the top swing arm, the bottom swing arm. There's these little aluminum plugs that hold the springs in place. And I'd have to drill through the steel fork, the top and the bottom, to make room for a bolt. I'd drill through those caps, and mind you, there's two on each fork arm, so there's four that I'd have to drill through. And then I'd get aluminum tubing that was the same size, like same diameter as the springs, and that's pretty much, in a sense, like the. I don't want to say that. That's bad wording. I wanted to say precursor to this SR fork because like it's kind of a similar design. Obviously, Andrew's fork is way better. Like there's no competition there, but I feel like that was kind of like the same idea, just DIY style.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And so let's say you do every modification you can to your scooter. How long is it lasting you? Like typically.
The forks weren't as strong as they could have been. I mean, the swing arms by themselves, they just couldn't really take the impact for too long without bending. So that was kind of like a dumb design in a way. I don't know how I made mine last so long, but I had people buy them, and then within a few days, they were already bent out of shape to the point where they
Damn.
can't even ride it. Like the forks rubbing the wheel. But I mean, everything else lasted. Like I bolted the folding, of course. I did all of that too. But yeah. And I thought I was like really slick by taking out the bearings, cleaning them with alcohol, and then I used Marvel's Mystery Oil, which is like a piston lubricant to re-lubricate the bearings because it was an unsealed headset.
God, man. I remember one time, it was like right when I got into scootering, there was me and my buddy, he had a Phoenix, I had like a Lucky scooter, and this other guy had just like a Fusion that we already had integrated headset at this point, but his was like non-integrated, and we took his whole scooter apart and just like hid it around the homie's house, and he like made him like find it all basically. And none of us could put his headset together back the next day, bro. It was
Oh
like
no.
so many different pieces and things. We're just like, sorry, bro. Like, we
You just
fucked
left them
you.
hanging, dude.
We were at the skate park, man. Like, it
Sabotaged by the
was so
homies.
bad. Yeah. I'll never
It's
forget,
tragic.
like, and respect the people who actually were like putting in work for those things, man. Because when I got my first scooter, it was, I think a B model. It was like a black Razor that I think still folded a little bit. And then I got like the silver one that was, I think, the Pro model. It came with a DVD. Um, but then after that, yeah, I just got like random parts and put it together. And so I never like did any true modifications or anything like that. But it's cool to just like hear what y'all were doing and like about the days, man. It's just so interesting to me, and I'm so thankful for the
Like
dudes
you
that
don't have to
paved
do
the
that shit.
way. Yeah. And I'm just even
Josh, were
thinking
you?
about the new guys, just perfect, complete out the box, man.
Yeah,
Last for a
they got
year,
it
two
made.
years. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Were you rocking the A deck or the B deck?
I was a B model guy. I
I
didn't like the A
th-
deck.
Is
Dude,
that
I
the
feel like
black
when
scooter?
your videos, like the deck was so long because I was always an A deck guy, and I was like, I knew the B model existed, but I just never went out of my way to get it. I was always like,
Hmm.
it looks so big.
How long are these decks? Like the A and B back then, like
Ah,
18 and
so that
20 or like
no, the
smaller?
if I remember correctly, the A model decks were 19.5 and the B model deck was 20.
Okay.
Both
That's
Okay.
four
hardly any
wide.
difference.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matt swiped
yeah, a half an inch, it makes a big
it.
difference,
Yeah.
man.
Don't let them fool you, kids. Oh man. Well, dude, so you got onto Razor, right? You started doing some tricks. Did you have to like film anything to like show them or did for your manager to show them or was it just kind of like I'm down to ride this thing and they were
So
like
the
sick?
the first contest for scootering was at the Orange County Fairgrounds here in Southern
Wow.
California, and it was actually an event put on by Pete Lonkarovich, the guy I mentioned earlier, and it was called USA Scooter Racing, and Team Razor came through. Like he reached out to all these brands. I rode for a company called SI Scooter Works, and they
I never
actually
even heard
made
of them.
complete. Yeah, yeah. I don't. You might still be able to find some of their scooters online, but highly unlikely. Um, a ham funny fact is I came across this one. I'll call it a corn website, and I found this picture of this corn star that was standing over this one of the scooters that they made.
No
I thought that
way.
was funny. I was like, wow, that's like a throwback right there.
Dude, that's like when
What are the
elites used
odds?
to get like the ladies to model their products. I always
Oh, they
thought that was
were.
funny, man. It's just,
This was
no one else is doing it.
unprompted, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always thought that was funny. But so yeah, that first contest, I forget which month it was in. I want to say it was January of 2001, I think. And then they had another event, March, if I recall correctly, of 2001. And at the first event, I did pretty well against the riders. Of course, I had Jarrett and Scott there, so Jarrett had the flip. Scott was really technical, like he was doing a lot of stuff that really nobody was doing. So um, they came out on top. Props to them. But they saw my riding, they saw the ability. So I guess second event came around and same results. Like I was doing well against the riders, and so they ended up asking me if I wanted to be a part of Team Razor, and they gave me a B model with a long sleeve T-shirt, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Official. And I'm
Yeah, man,
sorry,
it's
you
super official.
you said that was 2001?
Yeah, early
Okay,
2001.
cool, cool. So yeah, just like a few months, couple months after you started riding for the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. And what tricks were you bringing from BMX into your scootering? Like, were you automatically onto the Supermans or like
No,
I
not yet.
noticed you were doing nollies too, like in some of your early videos, and I'm like,
Yeah, that was later on for sure. Like back then during those events, you were looking at more like no-footed X-ups. Some
okay,
kids may not even know what an X-up is, but um,
that's so sick.
nothings or
Yeah.
uh, I remember Jason Fry was advertising, I have this new trick for this event and it's going to be awesome. Like nobody's done it before. And we're like, oh, well, like, what is it? He's like, it's a tail whip, but I hit it with my hand. So the finger whip. He was the first one to land a finger whip. So I was like, okay, that's like a game changer, from where we came from. Like that's something different.
Yeah.
Huge.
And so yeah, it was like tricks like that, like very, very entry level stuff, but 360s, 360 X ups, 360 one handers, and like
Yeah.
if you were
Some
if you were
bike
really
stuff.
good, yeah, if you were really like old school, like golden age BMX tricks, basically.
Yeah.
If you were really good, you could do like a no foot one handed X up, like that took. It's still kind of hard, even today.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Especially like a can if you're kicking your feet up.
Yeah.
So I
I
gotta
Um,
mean, it's
ask. I don't want
once
to
you get,
derail. Go ahead.
huh?
Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's like when you do like a no foot one-handed X up, it's like you're taking all your limbs off the scooter. You have no control of it, and then you go and you throw that X up in there, and so the scooter just wants to like twist on you.
I feel like
It
you got to
sounds
whip it
so
true.
back.
dumb, the trick, but it's harder than it sounds.
So you were doing racing too, though, right? I remember videos of you racing the electric scooters as well. Like, what was that like?
Well, I was doing gas powered. I yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. I was doing some freestyle stuff on that too, but I was more known for the noped, the push powered one. But yeah, the races were a lot of fun. It got a little boring for me, like the racing portion of it. So that's why like freestyle was always so fun to me. But
Sure.
a little more individualistic and, you can kind of get creative with that. I mean, you get creative on the track too, but it's just not the same. It's very repetitive. But yeah, like I actually rode for GoPed while I was riding for Razor. Um, because I sent them in a video of me doing tricks on the noped, and they were like, "Oh dang, he's pretty good." And then they started seeing me at events, and I was doing the same thing. Like I I actually one thing that I'm kind of proud of is the fact that I was able to take a world championship title. Granted, it's not worlds like worlds now in scootering, but world championship in freestyle on a noped against all the motorized guys. So like I'm a little proud of that one. But
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. Mm. Um, so I'm curious, and if you're down to talk about it, we can, but how much was Razor paying you? I feel like they had like cash behind them, man. I feel like
Goose.
you could have been getting paid more than like pros now, you know?
That's some.
money was really never there, at least not for me. Like the only rider I really know that was getting actual paychecks every month was Jarrett Reed. He had a contract, but he was a lot more like business savvy on that end. A lot
Yeah.
of us were just kids and we were just kind of figuring it all out. But I mean, Jarrett was a stunt man before anything. Like he was in a bunch of movies. You may have actually seen some of his stunts and not even realized it watching like an older film. But um, yeah, he had a little more business savvy there to know that he should have everything in writing. There should be
Yeah.
But he was older too, right? Like, wasn't he a couple years older than you?
he was in his 20s at the time, if I recall correctly.
And
So
you were like 15 at this point?
yeah, like 15, 16.
Sure. Yeah.
Damn. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
so.
man.
And like I always like my sponsors even in like BMX, like I wasn't professional either, but like I wasn't getting paid anything. I was just getting basically flowed product and or like pretty good discounts on stuff. But yeah, like I wasn't really getting paid anything from Razer. I could do a
Damn.
demo and I get paid like $100 per demo, and they'll throw me like $35 for per diem to eat pretty much.
Yeah.
And we usually blew it on other things other than
Yo,
food,
but
but
100 bucks back then is like $1,000 today.
You can at least get some eggs and bread.
We old dog. That's
Yeah.
true.
I was gonna say I'm a dinosaur. But yeah, so
um,
I mean the money really wasn't there. We were just having fun. That was
yeah.
realistically it. Like now I don't want to sound ungrateful by saying like, oh, I got paid nothing and la da da from Razer, but like I am grateful for like a lot of the opportunities they gave me because they sent me to quite a few places, like
Yeah.
a lot of traveling. I mean, unfortunately I had to miss out on the European trip, so I still haven't been to Europe, but they sent me to Japan 3 times, so I'm pretty grateful for that. But
Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah,
Was that probably your favorite Razor trip? Was like
it
Japan?
one of them for yeah, one of them.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Because
Did you?
I went 3 times in a span of 3 years.
Nice.
So it was pretty nice.
Yeah. Where did you go anywhere else, like outside the US to scooter?
Unfortunately, not. It was pretty much all over the U.S. and then Japan a few times.
Was that
Was
sketchy
it
in Japan? Like I remember the videos, bro, with the silver ramps, and you guys were. It looked like you were in a mall or something. Like I felt like it
It
was a little
was
sketchy to ride that thing. Yeah.
well, the ramp's not that bad. It can get kind of slippery though. It wasn't too bad when we were riding it. It's more so the ground that they put after because it was an international bike show is where we were doing the demos. The first year that we were there, we didn't have any footage of it, but we were riding the BMX park and everything was pretty big for a scooter, especially back then with the slow wheels and everything. But we did demos on that, and then the videos that you're talking about, that was the ramps that Razer had, and they put this painted floor down that was like a grayish silverish color with like a big Razer logo going across the floor, and looks cool. But the second that our wheels touched it, it just wanted to wash out like
yeah.
almost immediately. So you'll actually notice in what was it? It was the 2005 video, I think it was, where it was like one of the first videos that Ricky did when we went to Japan. It was Jarrett Reed, Ricky, and myself. And you'll notice in the video there's a bunch of Razor oval grip tapes stuck on the floor, like after the landing. Because we can make it to the ramp no problem, like from the roll in to the launch. But when we got to the landing, that's where it was like hectic. And that was a double-edged sword because like it saved us from not sliding out when we'd land a trick. But if we didn't land a trick, the grip
Yeah.
tape would stop us.
Yeah. Oh man. Probably burn you too if you're not like a long sleeve and pants on.
I mean, we were wearing knee pads, but still, like,
Right.
imagine sliding and then hitting that grit and just like
Yeah.
you stop pretty
Yeah.
much. Like,
Yeah.
Josh, will you give us the background between, like in my head, you, Chris, and Ricky were all the tightest out of everyone. Is that correct?
I'd say so, yeah. Like,
How did
then
you
you
guys
had
meet?
like,
How did they get on Razor? Sorry to interrupt you.
no, no, you're good. So Ricky reached out to me, if I recall correctly. Um, it's either that or actually I think I may have seen MBS one. Because if you notice in all the MBS videos, like, well, I don't even know if MBS one's even around anymore, but um, MBS one, I saw their video and I was like, oh, you guys are like pretty good. Like, we should meet up and ride sometime. And then we ended up meeting up and riding, and some of the footage in MBS two was from the day we met up. It was actually there's like kicker footage out front of my parents' house, and then I think we went to the Cypress Ditch or Loading Dock
Uh,
Banks, which is in like a bunch of our videos. They're just like the perfect like black concrete launches over a curb, and they have them like on both sides. So it's like pretty fun because you jump in on one side, pump your speed, and then hit out the other side. It was a pretty cool spot, but yeah, that was pretty much how we met, and then eventually like Ollie would meet him, and then you know they ended up getting on the team. So
and I
What
love
was
how, sorry, Matt, but I love how, like, how often the same spot would get hit in old scooter videos, you know? It would just be like a driveway or like this church, like manual pad, or like, just like, just kind of changing from spot to spot, but always getting back to them, It's just what
yeah,
you had, like you're just young, trying to go with what's in riding distance, probably like same
yeah,
stuff I was
usually
doing. I just didn't film it.
right.
Like same, I was going to the local ditch and the local manual pad, and I never had a kicker in my yard, but always a box or a
Dude, that's
rail. And
crazy. On a side note, you never had a kicker?
no, not like a real wooden one. Like I had a
No
black
X
one
Factor?
from when I used to bike, like just a black plastic one, and like
Oh no.
they were always mid. I was like, I like
They're
this thing.
hazards.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are
yeah,
pretty sketchy to ride, the black kickers. Yeah.
So Josh, when you, Ricky, and Chris were all tight, what was y'all's friendship like? Or whoever else too. Like you can expand outside of them.
So, I mean, we were even when we weren't riding, like we'd still hang out, but a lot of the things that brought us together were the riding. But yeah, like after a session for the day, like we go hang out at one of their houses, spend time with some of their family. Um, yeah, we ended up bringing in Mark Adkins and Derek Beckering into the videos like MBS and everything, and so we were meeting up with them a lot. Um, like it became, I believe it was MBS 3 is where it became like Hollywood Sports Skate Park was like the spot where it was like every day we were basically there, and Derek and Mark live in that area, so it made it really easy for us to film them.
hmm
And then on top of that, it was a pretty good park for what it was. And yeah, that was like a hub for us, that place.
that's dope. Man, I feel like I had something to say and I forgot it just listening to you, honestly. But oh yeah, yeah. So you were close with those guys, right? Was a lot of the Razor team like pretty close to each other, or did it get to the point where some guys started being like from outside of Cali?
I
Because
mean,
I would
there
assume
were
not a lot of people, sorry to cut you off, but like not a lot of people would drive from the East Coast or whatever to that first Razor comp. So I'm assuming it's like all people that were kind of like in that area.
yeah, originally I think it really was like that. And then we started adding other people like yeah, I remember this kind of vividly, like Casey Corning came down from Oregon to go to Brea
Legend.
Skate Park because he knew that we were having a team meeting there, like a team practice day at Brea Skate Park. And so he came down, like I guess he got the information. I think he hit up Ali and he was like, I'm gonna be there. And he showed up and he was definitely try harding, but he was a good rider even back then. Like, and it was cool to see somebody else like doing, what we were doing because it was so
Right.
few and far between back then. Like realistically, scootering back then was just centralized to the internet, like on certain forums and stuff if you were lucky to find them. But like you didn't have social media like you do now where you can
Yeah.
just come across a new rider like nothing, like it was pretty hard. But so there's Casey Corning, there's a name that I know that Matt's gonna be hyped to hear right now is Eddie Strakowski.
Oh, we were
I
talking
told
about
you.
him
I
earlier,
told you.
man. Yeah. Dude,
Yeah,
I want to
Eddie
hear about
Strakowski.
him. Yeah.
He
Josh
was
told
he
Heard.
me.
was he was such a shy kid, but he was a good kid. He was a cool guy for sure.
Yeah, I heard he was
Yeah,
a legend and just disappeared.
yeah, it was crazy the stuff he was doing. Like realistically, like we saw his video that he sent in to Ali, and we were like, "What the hell? This kid's like he's jumping over his parents' car." off of a kicker ramp. Like, what
That's
sane parent
insane.
would allow that to happen, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and he's just sending it. Like,
Does he have any of those videos like on Vimeo or anything? Like some
no.
footage we could see? Oh man.
Dude, he sent this
Man,
video on a VHS tape. So I
that's
mean,
so fucking
OG,
awesome,
OG.
bro. You
You know,
think
I
Ollie?
have been curious though if Ollie has it. I knew that was where that was going.
Yeah,
I'm curious if he still has it. I'm willing to bet he probably still does. It's just a matter of where. But that
dude,
would be kind of interesting to digitize and put up online. Like,
dude, if you wanted to, man, that would be an awesome thing just to like get all those old tapes and somehow like throw them on YouTube, like it was just such a cool time travel for me just looking at your videos earlier. Like I hadn't watched your videos in a while or really like any old scooter riding in a minute. And it's every time I do, I try and keep it that way. So it's like so nostalgic and special and not so like
Hmm.
normalized.
yeah.
But man, it's just so cool, seeing the 240p, like some of your night clips. I can't even tell what you're doing, man. I'm just like
Yeah, yeah, we didn't really
uh,
take lighting into account.
yeah.
We were
It's
just kind
just
of, hey, let's set the camera up. Yeah,
yeah.
we're in
It's
the
so
back of a
grassroots,
business in
man.
their parking lot. Let's
Yeah.
just get a clip flat.
Yeah. Totally, bro. It's just like being young, having fun on this new thing. Like you're literally just paving the way in your own style, like everybody collectively. And then when did Scooter Resource come up? And was that like the first scooter forum, or were there like some spots you were talking to people before, or
Oh, there was
what's up
definitely
with that?
others.
Okay.
SR like stepped it up though, because Andrew put a lot of work into it. Like not only the forum, but he had like little areas you could play freaking games even. Like it's crazy. But no, there were other places like the one that I originally found like a scootering community on was called Team Scat, and it was a bunch of riders from New York. They were in upstate New York, and let's see here. So there was the two riders' names off the top of my head that I can remember is Josh Silverman and Kat Larios.
Good old Cat Larios, man. I was gonna ask if you like, yep, yep.
Yeah. So
I
uh,
love this.
last I saw, she's focuses on like art and music, and like she hasn't touched a scooter in forever. But
Damn, she was a
and
girl?
yep,
First
yep.
girl rider or what? What are we talking here? Probably.
As
Probably.
far as I know,
Like the
yeah, yeah,
serious first
probably.
serious one.
As
Yeah,
far as
she
I
was
know,
doing like
yes.
chairmans and stuff like that. Like,
Dude, she was
wow.
cute too. Throwing out there, she was cute. It was sick. It was sick, man. And
Oh,
side
that's
note,
awesome.
Silverman was fucked up back in the day. I remember seeing some of his clips and being like, "What?" And they were old.
Yeah.
Like I think when I saw them, they were a year or two old at that point. Like I remember he had this long flat or a down rail. It was like low, but it was long. I don't know. Anyway,
That's so
No,
awesome,
he
man.
was a pretty good rider. He was pretty annoying to talk to on the forums.
ooh, okay.
And I feel, you know, hindsight's always 2020. Like I feel bad. Like I was kind of a jerk to him on the forums just because I was so annoyed. But to be young
Just
again, you know, you're just dumb like that. So,
live and you learn, brother.
but let's
You-
see here. So after Team Scat, there was, oh man. I mean, it's funny. It was like everybody had their own like GeoCities website, and they just get a free forum and kind of throw it on there, and so people started joining those. So like that was one of the things I did. I had like Razor Pros, and that was basically just a website dedicated to Team Razor and like content from us. And I had a forum on there too, Uh, of course, Ricky, he had MB Scooters, so he had his own forum, and
it's
oh
crazy.
man, I feel like
Did
I'm
you
missing one.
did you like have to design the website and everything?
Yeah, but it was like GeoCities. It was a like a sister company of Yahoo, and the way it basically worked was they had a site builder, and it was pretty much drag and drop, and it would you just basically made photos or took pictures like photoshopped or whatever, and you could play with it in the editor, drag and drop, add features to that. Like you can make a picture like the button for a link, like
Yeah.
things like that. But like and literally I made like I think 3 or 4 different websites and it was basically like the same concept in a way, just like different appearance, kind of.
Yeah.
It became like one of those things where like, oh, I just need to do something different. Like, and so I just keep making websites.
Hey, it's free to send it.
Yeah, it was free. Why not? You know, and I learned a little bit of HTML in the process, so
Hmm.
that works.
That's dope. That's dope, man.
I think I feel like I'm missing like a major forum that aside from Razor Pros, MB Scooters, Team Scat forum, I feel like I'm missing a big one, but realistically, like from there, it ended up going into like the Ridewire, which was more of like a serious forum, kind of like the prequel to SR. It was kind of like, or not prequel, that's not the word I'm looking for, but it was leading up to SR. Like it was a big step forward. Like Chris Gascoigne, he went hard with like learning all the coding behind the forum to like set up different things for the forum to make it something different than what we had already been experiencing. And it wasn't free because he was able to pay for well, I think at first it was free, but then he ended up paying for a server and doing his own thing. But yeah, it just kind of gradually went towards SR. But
Damn. And when was SR like 2002? Something like that? Later?
I don't even know, to be honest, like year wise, that's hard to say.
I'll ask Andrew.
Definitely 2003. I don't know about two though, because 2003 is when I found Anarchy 1 on SR, like, an old version of SR. That's my earliest to date memory.
Damn. What was y'all scores on there? You remember? Yeah, didn't you have like an admin score or something? Or were y'all
I don't
admins?
even know. No,
No clue, dude.
I wasn't an admin. Not that I
There was
recall.
something. Someone will comment it. Someone who was there. Um, all right, let's see. Hold on. Let me get back to some of these questions I had for you.
All right, I'm gonna pop in real quick because we
Do
do need
it.
to move on past the old days. But I'm curious, Josh, what is your favorite NBS rendition? Three or four? Come on, I know it's I don't know, what is it?
I think 4 just because like we took it a little more seriously and we actually thought about like, hey, like this is stuff that I don't think anybody's really done before or seen before, so like let's do this. You know, like I feel like we really sent it with that. Whereas MBS 3, it was like it was stuff that you've seen before, but just done a little differently, I guess. Like,
Right.
I don't know. Like we still had some like really good clips in those videos, but like I don't think it was at like I feel like MBS 4 was like more game changing than 3.
Do you feel like NBS 4 pushed the scootering community in a better, production quality, like a better vision for how videos? Dude, that's my take. Like that was the standard for what, 3, 4 years? Like I don't know, nothing topped NBS 4 for a while.
Yeah, because I mean a lot of the riders that were out there, I mean you could still I think you know what, no, I found it on I have access to Medice's server, which has like Dylan Casson edits from way back when he was
Oh yeah.
editing in like Windows Media Maker. It was
Wow.
like the
Wow.
stereotypical like Windows Media Maker title coming in and like
Dude, the people would love to see those, honestly. He's such a ghost now, you know? Like, I
yeah,
feel like new scooter riders have no idea who Dylan Casson is, and that's just such a bummer.
which is crazy because just a handful of years ago he was like the guy, you know.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy.
I mean, I
How
love Dylan, but he also did ghost out. That's the sad
Yeah,
part.
it's
Like
on him, you
I,
know,
a
for
little
sure.
bit. I'm not like, dude, I love Dylan to death, but I'm like, he's like, I've hung out with him a few times and I've always liked him. But yeah, it's like when you leave the community, it's like, you can't, people aren't going to really remember because you're not there.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I don't know,
No,
whatever.
totally.
Maybe I'm just salty. I'm
Totally.
like, I wish people like Dylan would stay, but whatever.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
feel
totally
like he
valid.
felt like I feel like he felt like he had like kind of contributed a lot with like his proto and tilt parts and all that, and I think he just kind of got over like in a sense like being in the spotlight like that. Like I don't know, kind of takes
That's fair.
away. It kind of
Yeah.
takes away from like from the riding a little bit sometimes, like because it adds that pressure and that pressure just like changes you.
Totally. Totally. You can just kind of mountain bike and be a mountain biker, not Dylan Cass and, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I'm just
Maybe,
assuming. I don't know.
I feel like he could also make a comeback. Like we're all still young. You could always come back and like
Yeah.
find your fit. And after a couple of years of like silence, you don't have to be a face anymore. But anyway, whole other
Yeah.
conversation.
Drop a
Oh,
random
believe me,
clip.
no, I think we're all on the same page that we'd love to see some Dylan Casson footage.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Josh, you remember his part with the Gorillaz song? It was El Manana. I don't think it was in the Windows Movie Maker days, but I remember he had this part with like the Gorillaz El Manana song in the back. I think it's when he did a 9 to Fakie out of that main skate park he always went to. Anyway, just curious if you remember that.
I probably did see it off the top of my head. My memory can be shot sometimes though.
That's fair. Austin, you got a question?
I got a few. I know we're kind of getting away from the older days, but I do want to know, like, what was your first Razor trip?
First razor trip. Um,
Was it like a
I,
van trip? I know y'all did like a lot of van stuff.
yeah, we weren't in the van too much. That was pretty much like, oh, if we had like a demo that day, we drive to, the demo if it was like local to where the Razor factory was or whatnot. But or like Point X Park or Woodward, because that's like driving distance. But
Yeah.
basically that van ended up getting turned into like a transport van for the warehouse, so it really wasn't being used by us a majority of the time. But yeah, as far as I want to say my first trip was to Six Flags in Northern California because we were doing demos there.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And if I recall correctly, the people on the trip, it was back when Pete Loncarabage was still the team manager, and it was Jarrett Reed, Scott McCormick, and myself. So
Nice.
yeah.
Um, I got another random thing. I don't even know if it's a question, but when I got that Razor Pro model and had the DVD in there, the guys who I really remember like going and like watching after that and looking into were Tanner Markley, Jason Beggs, and Trevor Navarre. I really liked him just because he was like young and had the backyard ramps. And
Yeah.
I'm just curious if you were like on Razor at that time or if you ever kind of like hung out with them or
Uh, yeah, for a little bit. I didn't really hang out too much with Tanner and Trevor, but I did hang out with Jason quite a bit. Like him and I kind of became like riding buddies at one point.
he was
Um,
steezy, bro.
yeah,
He was
yeah,
steezy.
and he had so many tricks on lock. He could just throw it over anything. It didn't matter, like, and it was just instant. Like it wouldn't be one of those things where he's like struggling and like having to go 5, 10 attempts before he stumps it. Like it was just
Right.
every time, just and every time had that steez.
Yeah. I watched a lot of their games of Scoot, like him versus Tanner, and you could tell, he was just cranking shit out,
Yeah.
with style. It's
Yeah.
just like he was cool. Tanner was pretty cool too, but I really like Jason's style, just like with the whip inverts or the inverts and fucking all that shit,
His airs were
Just
beautiful, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger
He
dude
had
too,
like
so it
the
was
he had like
cool.
the Northwest style, but from SoCal.
Right.
That's a good point. You're
Yeah.
right. He did. I never even thought of that. He's got a kid now too. You see that, Josh?
Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
crazy. It's crazy. So happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So after Razor, when did you like stop riding for them, and when did you like start to do some Scooter Zone stuff?
The year, if I recall correctly, was let's see here. It was 2010, going into like 2011, I believe, is when I left because I rode for them for 10 and a half years. And
Damn.
yeah, and that was a little bit of like a rough separation because like I struggled with like whether or not to leave, but it was like there were things I was unhappy about as a rider on their team that I didn't feel like they were listening in certain ways. And ultimately, I kind of conspired to leave. And yeah, it kind of didn't end very well, but it led me to Scooter Zone.
Wait, spill the juice
And
on that.
okay, okay.
Oh, come on. It's
I'll,
been like 15 years, bro.
I'll keep it short and sweet. But
Okay.
basically, I hit up Tuan because he was the team manager at Mad Gear at the time. I saw that they were actually listening to the riders and like developing their product the way that the riders wanted it. Um, when it came to like the Razor Phase 2 stuff, like with the Pro model, it was supposed to be so much more, and then the Ultra Pro was supposed to be what we originally wanted for the Pro model, but never got. And all they really gave us was just a one piece deck, so it was kind of disappointing. And one piece bars also, but it was really disappointing because like we were pushing for so much more, and we even had like Casey Corning's help, and this was like pre TSI. So a lot of the ideas that Casey took to TSI were things that he approached Razor with, saying, "Hey, let's do this. Like, if you really want to do this, let's do this." But yeah. So I was just like kind of unhappy with certain design choices that they were going with, and telling them, like I don't think this is right. Like just do this. It's really simple. Like just do this. And they were trying to do their own little thing with the technology, and it's just like it felt like we were wasting time. And so I ended up hitting up Tuan, asked him if he would have me on the team, and well, he just so happened to be good friends with Tanner Markley, and Tanner Markley was good friends with Ali. So it got back to Ali.
Ooh.
And yeah, so he like called me one night. He was like, "Hey, I need to know, are you with us or are you leaving?" And I was like, "I guess you can consider this my resignation." So,
Damn.
yeah.
Tragic, but it sounds like it was written on the walls. Like, because I know it had been years of you guys trying to develop like the product you wanted with the Pro, with the Ultra, and like I vaguely remember Phase 2, but to be honest, I kind of dismissed Razor at that point anyway. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Yeah, so tragic, but at the same time, like it was written on the walls.
What were you
Yeah.
riding at that point, Matt?
Probably a
Like a
Razor.
micro?
I don't know,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I probably at that that was 2010, 29, 2009,
Well, yeah, it was around there.
around there. Inward, whatever Inward
Yeah.
was giving me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think I even hit up JP about Inward, like
Are
as a
you telling
part
me we could have
sponsor.
been best friends and JP fucked us?
I asked him if I could be on the parts team because that's what he was making. I was like, "Hey, like I really like your bars. Like I'd like to, represent your brand." And he was like, "Yeah, we're good on the team." And I was like, "All right, it is what it is."
He's like, I got enough asshats on my team anyway. Like, we're okay. We're okay.
Oh man. What an era.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
so from
after that whole thing with Razor, like it led me to Scooter Zone, and like when I was talking with the original owner, James, like he was like, yeah, like I guess Nick got in his ear, Nick Darger, that's another OG rider right there.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Um,
I remember him.
I think he got in his ear and was like, yeah, dude, like we should swoop him up, And I was friends with basically everybody that was on Scooter Zone anyway, so I knew I'd get along with everybody. And so James knew I was like at the time pretty heavy hitting rider still, so he was like, yeah, like let's get you on the team. And then he was like, where are you living at now? And Santa Clarita. Oh, well, I've been looking to set up a shop out there. And so that's how that shop kind of got fast tracked. So,
That was the
or
only
actually, I
scooter
was in
zone I've been
Northridge
to.
at the time. Huh?
That's the only scooter zone I ever went to
Yeah.
on the way to west.
So did you come to the warehouse location or the
Dude,
storefront?
something happened, and shout out Nick Darger for this, honestly. But something happened like on the flight where I like lost my clamp off my bars or like something. I didn't have a clamp, and so they were like closing by the time I'd flown into LAX and could even like get to the shop. And so he just like left the clamp outside. We like paid for it like over the phone or something. He just like hit a clamp for me and we scooped it up and went to Santa Clarita Skate Park and I slipped around for a couple hours. Went to Tehachapi the next day. Yeah. That park is so slippery, bro. It's terrible.
Yeah, with
Good
the
park
winds,
though.
it kicks up a lot of dust. Yeah.
Yep. That scooter zone with the foam pit, man. What's the backstory on that dude falling through the roof? Do you know? Were you like
That
around for that or?
was Tom K.
Okay, someone had thought
I
that's who it was, but I never confirmed it. Was
I
he just like
can't.
on the roof?
So
Broke?
everybody, so everybody was kind of, we were getting a little loose and we were riding a little bit.
Hmm.
And
As you should.
from the story that I heard, because I wasn't there when it physically happened, I have seen the footage. Somebody has a clip of him falling through the roof and into
Security
the foam pit.
camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that's right. But from what I understand, he was laying in the foam pit. He looked up and he saw the skylight and he thought, "Huh," and went up on the roof. Next thing you know, he's in the foam pit.
Back where he started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full circle.
That's crazy, man. Someone else, while we're on the scooter zone thing, I think it was Josh Young, but he was asking for some scooter zone James stories. If you have any of those you wanna fire off. Any good
Jam
ones?
stories?
Yeah,
Eh.
he said James. No last name though.
Oh, Scooter Zone James stories. Okay. Uh,
Sorry,
no,
Josh.
not really. He's he don't get me wrong, like he did a lot well as like a brand owner, like he listened to all of us. That was one thing that was awesome, like because that was one thing that you didn't really see too much back then was like ownership actually listening and following through with what their riders want. But there were areas he could have improved in.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to go any deeper than that, but it's just, yeah. I have like a little bit of like a bitter taste in my mouth from the Scooter Zone thing at like towards the end. But yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna rub his name out in this video.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't think he meant like any bad stories, just like maybe like a funny moment or something, you know? I don't think he's trying to
uh
get you to shit talk him.
yeah. Nah, nah, not really. I mean, none that come to the
Yeah.
top of my head.
Word, we can move on.
Nick Darger, if he ever watches this, will appreciate this. Spray it, fool.
Sprite fool. Yeah.
Little inside joke.
Hell yeah.
Josh, which riders were influencing you? Like 2010, 2020 in that decade. Who was getting you hyped to ride? Like who did you look up to? Like if I could say it like that.
Um,
Good question.
hmm, that is a good question. I'm trying to like think of videos that I was like hyped on at that time period. But hmm.
Did you still like watch BMX at all? Or was it mainly you were consuming scootering?
I mean, yeah, BMX not too much, like every now and again, but excuse me. Mainly scooter content, but I'd say a lot of the guys on Proto. I really like Brandon Kilbury. I had been watching him since back in the day. Um,
My favorite OG.
BLT two parts, still in my opinion, one of the best video parts. Just saying.
Legend.
Austin agrees. He said that last podcast.
Someone asked me
That's what
that
it is.
recently too, and I'm like, dude, it's always BK. He's my favorite, like proto alumni, honestly.
Yeah.
Just manual front scoop, bro. Just
Spinning front side and back
too
side.
good.
Back then,
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
was doing that.
And
So
goaded for like a
cool.
decade. Just throwing it out there. Like even on his come up, BK was like he was goaded then, and then BLT2, and then I forget if there's anything after that, but it's like he left on a high note. He started on a high note. He's always been great.
The
Was that after
Catalyst,
his
Catalyst
proto?
video,
Which one?
The
the Catalyst
BLP
video.
too?
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, duh. Catalyst, right, right. And then ended on. Did he do
I think
only
he
one
has
proto part, or
two.
he
I
did
think he has
two?
two proto parts,
He
maybe.
had
Yeah,
two proto
he's got
parts.
one in oh man, I'm forget oh wow, I'm forgetting the second video. The name.
Yeah, I'm only thinking Catalyst Intermission.
There's
What's that in between?
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Thank you.
Armageddon. There you go. I think he had one in what is it, Reincarnate? Something
He
like
may
that.
have. I was thinking maybe even three proto videos, but I don't know.
I
Honestly,
don't think he's in Reincarnate.
I don't think he's in reincarnate, but he may have like a. That was like when Kirk and like Andy, like I
The
know he
next
wasn't
wave.
in the video with
Yeah.
Andy. Because Andy one time was trying to tell me something, and I'm like, bro, like, no way. Like, he was like, I was in this video, and I'm like, no way. But I think he was. I don't remember the specifics, but I had to go back and watch Reincarnate. And it was, yeah,
Okay,
like
wait, Josh,
Parrish
what
and
about
Zach.
you and Zig and all the Elites crew? Do you have any stories there? Any, like, I don't know, any moments that are worth
Ooh,
sharing?
Stylites, bro. Fucking love that video.
The after parties were all always sick.
In the
Um,
warehouse.
Give me
yeah, in the
juice.
warehouse. There was like a really wild night where Zig had to get some people out of the house, and he had to use some steel for that. It's kind of
That's
Damn,
crazy.
really?
that's
Yeah, it
crazy.
was crazy.
My
Like,
boy Zig.
I
But
mean,
fuck.
from what I hear, the people were like starting stuff though, and like he wasn't having it. It was the elite's house. Like he wasn't having it. Because I'm assuming anything bad happens, like he's gonna have to deal with Andy,
Yep.
and I wouldn't want to deal with that. So
Zig was like that perfect golden mean of like, he was so loose when he was loose, but like he knew when to step up as a leader too. And I could see him stepping up at that party and being like, get the fuck out of here, or whatever,
yeah.
whatever he did.
What a legend.
Were you and Corey close? Corey family? Or Zig
I
or any of
mean,
them?
huh?
I said Corey or Zig or any of them. Like, were y'all really close, or was it just kind of yeah?
I mean, I'd see him from time to time, but they were down in San Diego, so that's a bit of a drive.
Fair.
And I was north of LA, so it's even further than I was when like I first started riding for elites. So, um, Corey and Zig, I was definitely like close to them, like not super close, but like we were homies for sure. Hold on, my headphones dying on.
You're good.
But you there? Oh no, we're having technical difficulties right now.
Oh, good.
You're chilling, dude. Mine are gonna die soon too, I bet.
I recharged those right before the pod.
Who would have thought I'd be the OG in this one?
But yeah, as far as like
Boy Scout.
Corey, I wasn't as close to Corey as I was with Zig. Corey kind of kept to himself most of the time, but yeah, Zig's the homie. Like I still talk to him every now and again. Um,
So awesome.
yeah.
Anytime someone wants to see like a scooter fail, I always type in Zig Short SWV rolling, and I'm just like,
CooterCon.
just watch this, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's just such a like I love that they filmed the whole like sequence of him like hyping himself up and like jumping the flat on his feet, you know? Like you see the whole like arc of the story, and then just boom, like
buckles.
his shit snaps as soon as he hits the ground, bro. Uh,
That
man.
roller was high though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it was.
yeah. That's
That puppy was
like
huge,
20
bro. We were
feet,
all saying,
bro.
"Don't do it, Zig. Don't do it."
You were there.
Nah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
You were there, Matt.
Yeah, dude. I
Oh
told it
man,
in the
how have
last
we never
podcast, but
talked
Josh,
about
you'll crack
this?
up at this. Like, he did that. He went to the ER, and then I remember when we got back, we were rolling jungle weed. Like, he brought this weed with these crazy big leaves, and he was like, he's all fucked up, and he's like, "We're gonna have to get high and hot tub for this." I'm like, okay, like, he was so funny. But anyway, yeah, it was tragic.
Oh,
Sounds like Zig though.
Yep.
yeah, he was really hitting the gaps, bro. That's one thing I love about him is just fucking put on the gloves and find something tall, you know?
Yeah.
See what happens.
He'd
So
send it.
cool. So cool, man. Let's see. Another thing, shout out Hella Grip. They asked for you to talk about the time Big Ron threw a Wii remote at your TV. If you remember that.
Threw a Wii remote. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Shout
We
out
were
Big
all
Ron,
drinking
bro.
and playing
Fucking
Wii.
legend.
And yeah, he got a little wild and a little loose. And
He didn't have the wrist strap on, huh?
I guess he didn't have
Yeah,
the
I
wristband on.
That's funny. To break your TV?
No,
Nice.
because I think at that time that was like pre having a flat screen, so it was like the tube TV.
Right.
So
Right.
to take a hit, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta really chunk that.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man. See what else we had from the kid. Tell us about Piggy Bank, Josh.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
So I mentioned that I went to Japan with Razor. Jarrett, he was an avid drug taker, and one of the things he wanted was some shrooms. So,
Good
from
man.
what I understand, Japanese culture is very frowned upon, obviously. So we had to go to the red light district in Japan, which is called Roppongi. And so we go there, and Jarrett's looking for shrooms. We're just kind of following him. And then next thing you know is some guy randomly walks up to us and hands us a bunch of cards and says, "Hey, I got this club. It's just down the street, free drink tickets, and women from all over the world." And I'm like, "Oh, it's one of those. Okay, like strip club. Okay." Mind you, I'm still like, I'm 16 at the time, so like, wait, what? Free drink tickets and I get to see chicks? Like,
Yeah. Turn around.
and so the trip to find shrooms turned into us going to a strip club in Roppongi. So we went there, and Jarrett got the great idea of fooling me because I didn't know any better. I was 16. He's like, "Hey, like, I basically brought a budget with me. I was like, okay, I'll spend this much while I'm there. That way I don't break myself for the rest of the trip." So I had already given out all my yen, but I had a 500 yen coin. And he's like, "Hey, like, you probably get something with that." Oh, really? Oh, okay. And I tried, and I put the coin in my teeth and went up to the chick, and she's like, "Oh, are you emptying your piggy bank for me now?" Dancing. So that's where the nickname piggy bank. Joke's on them though, because we went next year, and I think it was Jarrett. Jarrett asked. It was actually in one of the Japan videos. He asked like, "Hey, how do you say piggy bank in Japanese?" And they're all, "Oh, jokinbako," but that actually means what was it? Piggy box, I think. So it wasn't even the right thing. But hey,
Close enough.
I swear I remember that, dude. You said it was in the video?
yep.
I'm sure I remember that. That's hilarious. Side note, how much is 500 yen? You have any idea?
Yeah, like 100 yen is $1.
Okay, so yeah, piggy bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Hey, I
Um,
got one for you, Josh. How do you feel like your riding has evolved from like, let's say, start to now? I'd love to hear your take on like your waves and phases of riding.
Okay. So first starting out, it was definitely BMX inspired with like a lot more air tricks, and then I wanted to start adding things to that. So that's when I was like, okay, well, I was still heavily inspired by BMX just because I did that my entire life. So I was like, oh, like there's certain tricks that I saw like pro BMXers do that I'd really like to see done on a scooter. So like that's where I came up with the idea of the whip bar. I was the first person to land that, and I did it both fly out and on transition. It was in MBS 4, 3, yeah, MBS 3. Um, but so I was trying to take the air tricks and be more technical with it, trying to like add things to it or just do it a little differently. And then eventually I got to a point where I ended up injuring my knee, and pretty much went to more like technical tricks. So I'm trying to ride more ledges, mani pads, like rails, things that don't take so much impact because even even doing something with a small impact, like because I tore my ACL. It was a full tear in my ACL, and I had like 4 tears on my meniscus and my MCL, and all on a warm up trick, front board down a 6 stair hubba at Santa Clarita Skate Park.
Damn. It's
Yeah, that skate park.
full circle.
I'm cruising through the park. I front board and I just locked in funny. I came down on my leg just like that, and it just buckled. And yeah, so once that happened, it was like the smallest of things would like jerk my knee, and when that happened, like my knee would feel like it physically just like does that,
Damn.
and
oh,
and I can barely walk for like a
What
good
year
few
was that?
days. Huh?
What year?
This was 2012.
Okay.
hmm.
I was kind of doing some like tech tricks before that, like into the RVM videos, but there was still quite a bit of air tricks in there, you know. I just
Yeah.
take more to like more street spots or like transfers and like gaps rather than just doing it like fly out or over a box jump because that gets boring, you know. So
Yeah. What was it like going from the Razor to like what kind of scooter did you ride at Scooter Zone?
I rode. It was a pretty much an epic complete. Like
Right.
their original decks weren't the greatest though. It was like they got an extrusion of like a square tube and then they like welded on like angle iron on each side. So it was kind of sketchy, but it worked. I mean, it was kind of like the same idea as like a pro model deck, like the way it's shaped. So it's
Yeah.
like fully flat, squared, you know? But yeah, no, there's that scooter is actually pretty solid though. It's like one of my favorite completes that I ever rode.
Nice. So you were pretty stoked on it then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. I bet that was like cool, you know.
It doesn't beat a Phoenix or Venton deck though.
I mean, dude, there's so many memes about how good that deck was, man. You know, like it really was just super strong. And that was about right when I was like been riding for a little bit, you know. So it was either that or a TSI for me.
Yeah.
And I just remember those were like the cream of the crop in my eyes at that point, you know.
There's something in the water in the Northwest.
Right. Totally, bro. Totally, man.
The original Lucky stuff, Rad,
I was,
Phoenix, TSI,
dude,
like you got
Rad is coming back. Rad is back. I could
yeah.
not be more stoked, man. I could not be more fucking hyped. But I think the same thing, like that's still like the best, you know. Proto now. Think they do it the best. I don't know if they make the best um, deck at least. I think everything else is probably up to par, but
No bias.
no bias. I mean, dude, show me a better wheel than fucking River or Proto, man.
You
Like
can't.
truly, SCS. There's maybe tilt, but like I don't know, the bars you can't like they have solid T bars. They don't have a fork. Their headset, honestly, is like the headset I haven't changed in like 3 or 4 years, and it's still like butter. I've rode that before I was even on Proto. Like it. Shout out to Andrew, man. He's a one man
Dude,
army. I'll give
Andrew's
it
the
to him.
man.
He is
Josh,
fucking
I didn't even think about
legend.
that. Yeah, Andrew joined Razor too. Like, and y'all used to butt head. I'm actually, you know what? I'm not getting into this. Not getting into this.
He it, that was a rough one because I was pushing for him to get on, but he didn't actually officially become a part of the team.
Okay.
But I feel like in a way it was led on like that was to be expected, and I added him to the Razor Pros website because, in my opinion, like he should have been on the team, and I was like pushing him out there, But like that had like my website had nothing to do with Razor per se. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
weren't telling me like, oh yeah, add Andrew's profile on the website. Like it's not like that. I just was doing that all on my own. But
Hmm.
yeah, like, but hey, you know what? If he had joined Razor, like who knows if Proto would be where it is now? So I mean, it's a
Thousand
blessing,
percent
curse, but I'd say more of a blessing. So
to
considering the
everyone.
reasons. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he just the other day made like a Delaney Ball, if y'all know her. She got like a signature tilt deck and got one for her brother. And there's like a whole video of Andrew in the shop just like making the deck. And it's like, who else can or will do that? It's just like he's an anomaly. I think that's the right word. I don't know the right exact definition.
He's a gift, man. He really is.
Exactly. Yeah. One of a kind, man. But yeah, we don't have to talk about him much if y'all have some whatevers. But
And
yeah, I
real
want to
quick, Josh,
know.
what are your other worlds first? Let's just like clear the air here.
Yes,
Whip bar, what
yes,
else have you done
yes.
first?
a lot of the first like nollie tricks.
Mm.
So
And
like
is that flat or is that coming off the bank? Like the nollie whip, nollie dub off the bank they use?
usually out of like a bank, yeah. Um,
Dude,
so like nollie three, nollie indie, like nollie bar spin, nollie whip, like pretty standard stuff. But
I forget if it was an RVM or NBS4, but I was watching it earlier and you did like, I think a switch heel down like a little three set, like double throw bar flat, and then just like a crazy nollie whip down like this three stair. And it was all in slow mo, like the end of the video. But I was like, damn, that nollie whip, bro. That thing was like stanky, bro. You fucking steezed it out, man.
what made it harder too is there was this gnarly crack, like a good foot behind the step. So like I had to kind of like
Yeah.
it made it sketchy.
Yeah. It's
That's
like
really,
a
really.
nose bonk before the nollie.
Yeah, in a way. Like, I mean, I don't have to hop or anything. I was trying to just kind of get into it and gap, like, kind of over it if I could, but it made it sketchy.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I
You
saw
feel
you ride
comfortable
that
with
spot a
nollies
lot.
today?
Eh. I haven't
Yeah.
really done them too much.
I
I've
know, like I
never
know you're smoothing back into it.
like it's funny. Like I was always pretty dang good at manuals, but when it came to nose manis, I had dog shit at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
It's a different
I've
beast.
tried. Like I've seriously tried to learn how to lock into them, and I don't understand how I can't do them, but I just can't do
You're not
Just start
alone.
with the hang five.
them.
Start with the
I'll make sure I stand on my down tube too while I'm at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally, man. Someone back in the day showed me a tech for the hang five where you just like use your foot that hangs and slide it on the ground the whole time. So you just kind of like go fast and you can like dial it in. It would fuck your shoes up, man. My mom was getting pissed for like that month period. I think I run like 2 pairs of Vans, but I was getting them dialed, bro. Shout out Parker.
Dude, I could have used that advice. I remember learning hang fives, which I never learned well, but like it was such a bitch. I'm terrible at it too, Josh. But I should have done that. Slid my foot on the ground, like because I like you, Josh. Probably I don't know how long you tried them, but I had like 4, 5 years where I really did want to learn them, and I would dick around and goof off, but I just never figured it out.
Yep, that's pretty much sounds pretty spot on to what I experienced.
Yeah.
I tried for years, wasn't working, wasn't happening. Got close a handful of times, but just wasn't there. It just wasn't happening.
Man, that's me with fake manuals. I still to this day try and do one longer than like 5 feet, like a quick pivot, and I've never gotten close, bro. Yeah, I've never gotten. There's just some of those tricks, man. Where I feel like you can put in the hours and the effort and still just come up short.
I really feel like
Uh,
it comes down to the person. Like somebody could put in 5 hours and figure it out, but I was
totally.
never that guy with nose manis or fakey manis or anything like that.
Dude, I've had literally Dylan Casson, my homie Tyrese. Like, I've had like this array of people and I've asked advice for it. I go to try it, it just doesn't work. It really is. Everyone has their own little things where you can either do it or can't, I feel like. And that's what makes your style cool. It's like
Yeah.
what you want to do, what you can do, and how you do it, putting it all together. It's cool.
Josh, what do you think is the trick that people most commonly know that you have done or do?
I'd say I was pretty well known for the Superman grabs.
The
Whip
whip
the Superman
Superman.
grabs, like
Yeah.
combos with that.
You ever do a whip Superman flat?
No.
Superman?
Superman, yes. Superman grab, no.
Okay. Yeah, just like a quick one. Throw it down.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
were
that's like I have a clip on my YouTube of Silas Henderson doing a Superman grab flat, and to this day, I don't understand how he did it.
You
It
talking
it
about
was not
Silas?
like a little like no footed grab with the deck like high. Like he like flattens out, legs kick back, like it makes no sense. It's as if he's doing it over like a gap or something, or even fly out. Like it doesn't
Okay.
make any sense to me.
I
You're
gotta
talking about
throw this in
Henderson?
my notes, man.
Huh?
Silas Henderson? Is that who you said?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was goaded on those Supermans, man.
That dude, he was so ahead of his time, and it really sucks that he had to give up scootering.
Yeah. Do you know why he did?
Uh, I mean, the last I heard, he went down a bad road. We'll just say
Mm,
that. And
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
but I don't know. I haven't heard anything to see if he's okay or what. So I hope he is. He was always a really good dude. So it would
So
probably
many of those
suck
stories, man.
even more stuff happened. But
So
I
you
mean,
knew him to some degree.
huh?
So you knew him to some degree, like Al Lampton, Salas.
Yeah, like because coming across like their videos, like Easy Scoot and all that.
Hmm.
Yeah, like you get to you see what they're doing. You're like, whoa, like where did these guys come from? Like,
But you were like talking to them like homies.
huh?
But you were like you would chat with them like homies.
Yeah, like
Sick.
online, like AIM using
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So yeah, we would talk online and yeah, like kind of brainstorm like ideas for writing and everything too, and like then we got them in, like we got Silas involved with some of the MBS stuff. In some of my videos I even did like where I did like I guess like a montage. I
Yeah.
threw his stuff in there. So, but yeah,
Do you still keep up with scootering? Like the state of scootering, like the tricks or videos or any of that?
a little bit. Like I'm not constantly binging the content anymore.
Right.
I mean, I've got kids. I'm going through life,
Yeah,
so
totally.
I'm not absorbed in it like I once was. Yeah, and I mean, even riding, like I don't ride as much as I'd want to, but yeah, if I get injured, I can't work, and if I can't work, I can't provide, you know.
Yep.
Priorities
Yeah.
change,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I still enjoy to get on my scooter every now and again. Like just recently, Joey Aria was here because he's filming for his new video part. And he wanted me to film some clips for him, so we went out and he did a bunch of spot finding and Yeah, we had a lot of fun. So
I
It's
was gonna
cool,
ask about
man.
you and Joey. Like, y'all hit it off pretty well. I assume it was pretty fun. Like, what's it like with y'all sesh? Like, I picture this like OG old man sesh, like driving the car to the spot. Like, I think I can nose blunt manny this. Like, what was that like? Your trip together?
well, I mean, we pretty much just ran around and saw if like there were spots that were even really worth hitting because a lot of his stuff he found it on like in skate videos or on like a skate spot apps and stuff like that, and he'd pin where it's all at on his map so that he could just kind of we could make a route out of it in a way. And
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know, like he's definitely a better rider than I am. That's for sure. Like
Very talented.
rides a lot more than I do. Like don't I don't push myself as much as I used to. So I kind of chill when I ride and I just kind of do what I think feels okay in the moment.
Yeah.
So I feel kind of awkward at like spots and stuff now. So I'm not like really trying to like put myself out there.
Right.
So
Right. What do you think are like the biggest differences in scootering now versus scootering then?
well, you have plenty of opportunity now. Not just monetarily, but like opportunities in general, like travel, like signature parts, like royalties on all that. You know, you can make a monthly salary now. Um,
Not many
which
people
is
do though,
obviously
honestly.
crazy in
I feel like it's
comparison to how it
still
used to be. But back then it was I don't know, like I feel like now it is a little more business versus back then where it was just kind of everybody was just kind of having fun and putting out, you know, look what I did in a way, you know.
yeah. There's not this goal or this like thing you're really trying to work towards besides like a trick or, earning your other scooter riders respect. It's not like I'm
I mean,
gonna
there's still
get
that. It's just different
right. Okay.
because there's a
Yeah, yeah.
hell of a lot more of them now, obviously. But
Yeah, I feel like if I were to comment to supplement what you said, Josh, I feel like the difference is that it was like if it felt to me, it felt like it was a community based thing. Like back then, we were all trying to be the best we could as a community. Obviously, there were isolated instances where riders would just stand out, like Silas Henderson or whoever, or you, Josh Toy. But like, it very much so did not feel like it was for me. It felt like it was for this greater thing, which I was laddering into. Whereas today, and it still does today. I hate discrediting today. Today still feels fine. However, you get with the internet and everything, just a lot more isolation and people. It has to be their way or like it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just very particular. It has to be like a certain way. Whereas back then it was like we didn't have that
Yeah.
commodity, right? It's like we were all we had, and we were doing this together, baby. And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be my take.
Now there's all these rules, and if you don't go by them, you're just not included by their,
Freaking hot scooter takes mess.
you know what?
perspective.
I'll say
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too. Because when like the Bri Flip was created, I was one of the anti Bri Flip guys.
Okay. Now we're talking.
I
Wait.
was.
Yes, give me the juice.
When did that come? I know it was Brian Boston, but like, do you remember either of y'all like what year? Because the front flip and the back flip were like 2000, right?
Yeah.
So it took another like 5 years before he was like, what if I flip the scooter, you know?
Well, because who was it that did the first one? I want to say it was Jordan Miller that did the
First Bri
first
flip?
scooter flip,
Front
and
scoot.
he takes his hand
Okay.
off.
Right, right, right.
Wasn't around.
Legend.
Okay. And
Fuck with that
I'm
guy.
assuming that Brian couldn't figure that out one-handed, so he found a way to do it without taking his hand off, and the Bri flip was born.
But the front scoot was still the inward version, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So then
So
he
it's just
was
one of
just
those
like,
things where it was like,
Yes.
I guess I was kind of narrow-minded in that aspect at that time. I was like,
Were
hey,
you pro or
you're
anti
not
front
doing
scoot?
the real
"Yeah,
scooter flip,
good
bro.
question.
Take
Okay.
So,
your
Josh, were you
hand
pro
off,
or
bro.
anti the front scoot?
What was that?
One more time, pro or anti front scoot? Were you on board with that, or were you like, nah?
I would, oh, scooter flips? Yeah,
Okay.
I was fine with it. And
Okay.
I was actually one of the ones that was pushing to call it the N word.
Why? Like what was that just like a random word or was there any meaning behind I know the bri flip is Brian, right? But like the front scoop makes sense and then the N-word's just like what's the N-word, you know?
It was just to call it something different.
Right. Okay. Just
It's the same
thought of a
dude.
word and glued it on.
N-word.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
throwing an N-word. Like,
It's N-word about it. Yeah. Okay. Now we're
Have
getting
you ever
there.
done a
Yeah,
bri
we're getting
flip?
there.
huh?
Have you ever landed a bri flip?
I've landed like 2.
Nice.
I could never
Check.
do 'em.
Done.
Yeah.
I was better at doing scooter flips though,
Okay.
but I still
It's a
suck
superior
at
trick.
that.
It's a superior trick, man. Let's be honest. The front scoot is character. The bri flip is cool, but even still today, it's like so overdone, man. The amount of people I see do a 50-50 to bri flip, I'm just like, come on, bro. Come on. Like,
I saw that
and
in
I
your
don't,
story, Austin. I was cracking up, dude.
that's,
2025, the year of no more 50-50 bris.
or hang fives. Why as a man are we still doing a hang five, bro?
No one's doing hang
Come
fives
on.
today. Who's doing hang fives?
Oh, you're gonna make me call him out. Oh, Ryland
It's
Smith.
scooters. Who cares?
Ryland Smith, I'm sorry, bro.
You
It was
called
because
him
of your
out.
clip. I keep seeing those hang fives. Stick the other foot on, brother. It's easy. It's easy. Like a story clip's cool, but I'm just like hard punch the hang five, bro. Crazy work.
I
I don't
remember
know. I
capering,
love
dude.
you, Ryland. Shout out Live Studios. They do a
It is no
podcast
hate here,
too.
dude. But I
Yeah.
remember capering. He was so wild with those hang fives. Like Josh, I assume you remember this.
Vincent
Like also
too.
you too. But like he
Yeah.
would, dude. He was the first one that started pivoting and like going into like fakey hang five. And then like he would like move around and maneuver that way.
Yeah,
Capron Funk
he
was
was.
so unique, man. I loved his style. And he was really good at nose manuals too. Same thing with Vincent Kundra or whatever his last name is. Like some of those hang fives are cool, but like he can nose manual just as well. So they're just doing the easier route. And I'm just like, I don't respect it, you know? It can be cool, I guess, but like who's doing a one-footed manual? Like those are out the door for a reason. So like
Those
just
are
because the
slated to make a
nose is
comeback.
harder, no, dude, no. X ups, like real Steez tricks, should make a comeback. Josh, I do some X ups. You know, I fuck with the X up. That's not dead yet, but like,
Got the X down.
dude, put me on. Is that just the other way?
Yeah.
Because I do that sometimes, like just even riding flat, I'll just like pop into an X ride, then like 360 into the Oppo X ride, and like I just like doing anything front side and back side, you know. But I've never just done a straight like X down, I guess. Yeah, dude. I'll add it to the trick list, you know, for sure. Ah. Well, let's see, man. Let's see what else we got on here. Josh Young, another one. He sent in like 5 questions. He's a fucking #1 TenFour supporter. He said, "Can you grab a Red Baron pizza out the freezer?"
I cannot.
Damn, damn. The days are over.
It's funny, like everybody
can.
says
I won't
that, like, it's like honestly, like at the time I was homeschooled, my parents would just kind of get me whatever for lunches during the week, and that's what my mom just so happened to buy that week, and I was like, oh, Red Baron, real good pizza, and it became a meme.
You
I
like said
became
that
a meme.
online or what? Josh was over?
Like, don't get me wrong, I liked Red Baron, but I mean, it wasn't like my favorite pizza or
Yeah.
anything.
It's no
Dude, you were
fine
like
dining.
16, 18
Yeah.
at the time. Like
Yeah.
it's okay. You're allowed to change your preference.
Yeah.
Have you ever had, Josh, have you ever had home run pizza?
No.
Just curious. I'll put you on to that.
Frozen? Okay.
Yeah. They're a little pricier, but they're good, or at least I fell in love with them for a number of years.
Well, you get what you pay for.
Truth.
Right. Dude, totally random, but what was up with Papa John's? Like, why am I going to your store to buy a pizza I still got to cook?
You talking
Like-
about Papa Murphy's, brother?
Papa Murphy's. Yeah, obviously not Papa John's. I'm sorry. but
Papa Murphy's
I'm
is
just like, what is
goated.
this, bro?
I am making a Papa Murphy's tonight after this podcast. So
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm just saying, dude.
Okay, but did you go to the store and buy it? Like
Here's
the
my
Papa
routine, y'all.
Murphy store.
once a month, I will run out and I will get a massage And then after that, there's a Papa Murphy's that's like 5 minutes away from the massage place, which is 40 minutes away from my backwoods little house. And I'll order like 4 or 5 Papa Murphy's pizzas, right? And then once a week, baby, I'll just rotate them. I love them. So yeah, man, I'm obsessed with Papa Murphy's, but that's just me. And they're relatively cheap too. Like they're like $16 here, but they've got a 25% off coupon that I use every time, and it all evens out, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dude, and I'm just gonna okay, I'm gonna say this too. Being able to cook them at your house is the reason I get them because I have perfected the craft. I can make my pizza exactly how I like it. Dude, I'm just so into it. I love it. So,
I love that for you. And I
For
never
you.
did it that deep, you know? I just feel like my mom, there used to be one right by our local HEB, which is like a grocery store out here, Josh. And we would like get this pizza and I would just want to eat it the whole time. But then I know I gotta like go home, wait for it to cook and cool down. And I'm like, this just seems like bullshit, man. It seems like a Ponzi scheme to me.
now let me
Like, I
educate you.
want to be able to it's the instant gratification of like, I just want to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, if we're going to grab some pizza, like Little Caesars is around the corner, and that's not even my favorite pizza, but I'm like, it's hot and fresh, bro. Let's just grab one of these suckers and we can eat it.
I used to crap on Little Caesars because they are like pretty cheaply made,
It's
but man, are they good. They're so tasty.
the there's a
Keep going.
meme I saw and it was like Little Caesars taste better when you don't have a bitch in your ear telling you it's bad or something. Like, it was just some dude eating it in the car alone. I was like, you got a point. Like, someone's not shitting on it. It's not that bad.
Josh, are you out there dating right now?
Am I what?
Are you out there dating right now? Like, just curious.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, come on.
Same here.
Keep going.
A little bit.
Yeah, okay. Have you had any like successful like follow-up dates? Have you had women where you've had multiple dates, or is it kind of like been a yeah, good.
I got into a relationship, but it wasn't very long. That one sucked. But yeah.
Was it on her? She closed it out?
Huh?
Was it on her like you were into her and she closed it out?
I'd say it was probably more her than me.
Yeah.
But now I also see like certain things where her approach I don't feel was right. Like everybody has their own opinion. So it is what it is, but yeah, like I don't know. It's like she basically made it out like I was lying to her about my divorce, but I was like, no, I've been upfront with everything since the start. Like. So
I do not see that being a
Good.
part of your character, man. It sounds like a bit of a red flag, at least in that aspect, but I don't know. What do I know?
Women are just, I hate to say it, but like so much more master like thinkers about things. Like they can construct this
Truth.
whole like narrative and feed it to you, and you're like, oh, okay. Like you start to believe it, and it's
yeah,
it's
like
crazy,
towards
man.
the end, like I'd make
Crazy.
little comments like, oh, because I was trying to give her like some distance a little bit, like maybe have everything kind of cool off a little before we like tried to maybe make it work. And it was like I
Mhm.
made a comment of like, oh, like I just don't want you to feel like I'm like pursuing you. And she's like, what do you mean by that? Like the way she approached me with it, I'm like, I mean, I can't even like tell you my opinion or like my view of like in my approach. Like I can't even do that without feeling like I'm getting attacked. Like
Yeah.
doesn't seem right. And when that
Was she
happens,
uppity that way?
it's like okay, like I'm done with this.
Yeah. Never
Was
settle,
that
brother.
reoccurring? Was she uppity like on other things too?
Towards the end, yeah. So I kind of like one of the questions I asked her too is like, oh, like, do you feel like, are you afraid of like what we have? And she was like, not really that she's afraid, but it was like all her actions were lined up with that. Like she was pushing me away.
Hmm.
So it's kind of weird, but it is what it is.
Sometimes they're scared to be the one to break up. They like just try and throw stuff at you to where you got to do it or just go away. Gotta
Those
take the hint.
games anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who wants to play games? Like, you're a grown ass woman. Act like it. We're not in high school anymore. We don't need to play these games anymore, you know?
Thousand
Clip it,
percent. Yeah,
chat.
agree with you.
Clip it.
Okay, so sorry to hear that didn't work, but is what it is. Just going on dates right now though, nobody that's like catching your eye particularly.
There is somebody, and it's been very nice. Like, we've been basically just doing dates at her place, cooking together, spending time together, and it's been really nice.
You like to cook?
Yeah.
Nice.
I do the grilling portion, and then she takes care of the other stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, so messed up. I don't know why this is the case, but I was literally just picturing you cooking a Red Baron.
I thought he was about to like pull one in.
Yeah. Just loads it in. Ooh, got him charged up. Hello, hello.
There we go.
Ooh, I can
That
hear
was
you loud and
weird.
clear.
All of a sudden, I start hearing something like blaring next to me. I'm like, what the hell?
They're all charged up.
I hope.
Okay,
Nice.
Josh, how are your kids doing, man? And tell us about your kids. Like, how old are they?
So, my son's about to be 14. His birthday's coming up. It's the 4th. Um, my daughter is about to be 10. I don't know where the time went, but they're doing really well. My son, he plays in a travel baseball team. He does very well at playing instruments in music. He's on the esports team for his school, and they actually just won a tournament.
It's
So
like
that was
video
cool.
games.
Yeah,
Dude, that's so crazy that it's like a class now, man.
yeah.
That's awesome. I
Like
wish,
he
bro.
he he plays for the Rocket League team. I don't know if you're familiar with that game.
Oh yeah. Sugar Shane's gonna be hyped when he hears that one.
Dude, I'm gonna have to start catching some games with Sugar Shane. Damn.
Dude,
Do you play?
yeah.
Dude, I'm like addicted to that game. Like it's seriously, I'm like addicted to it. I play it for hours like almost every day. Like,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
But
That's awesome.
like my son got me into the game. It was like a, hey, Dad, you want to play this game with me? And I was like, oh, sure, why not? And I started playing with him, and then I was like, damn, like this game's actually pretty fun. And then I
Yeah.
started getting really into it. And then I started watching content, and next thing you know, I'm taking him to LAN events. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. Like you really potentially could have set him up for like a real career, you know?
yeah,
Like it's crazy that you can make a living just playing video games and streaming or big
yeah, and
money
if
in
he,
tournaments even, like way more than the scooter contest, you know?
yeah,
It's crazy.
absolutely.
It's crazy.
And I think he's hoping for it too, but professional ball, I think that's his aim. So
Fuck yeah.
he's on track for that. So I think he's doing really, really well. So, but
He's like probably eighth grade or so.
yeah, he's about to be going into high school. That's
Nice. Nice, bro.
Yeah, how does that make you feel?
it's crazy. It feels like just 3 years ago I took him to the freaking SD event, like literally days after he was born. Like it's crazy to me.
I know y'all both have kids, and I don't have any kids, but I'm like the oldest sibling, and my sister's also 14, and I feel the same way, man. She's like about to go into high school next year, and I'm just like, I remember her as this little girl, you know, and now she's just like this sassy big lady. You know, I'm just saying, where was the sweet little Brooklyn, man? You grew up too fast, you know. High school hit. It's crazy, man.
But then
It's
we've
tough.
got my Maddie. That's the 10-year-old or about to be 10 years old. She's not in anything right now as far as like she wants to, I don't know, she's bouncing around on what she wants to do. She's like, oh, one minute she says she wants to do karate, and then the next minute she says she wants to go back to doing cheer. And then the next minute she's like, oh, gymnastics. And then there's softball. And then she's
Yeah.
all over the place. She's very sporadic. She's very much like me when I was her age. Like,
Yeah.
and she's so positive. She's just, I know it sounds so cheesy, but she's like a ray of sunshine. Like,
It's
she's
awesome.
like just always so happy. Like,
Yeah. That's a good quality to have, man.
yeah.
I mean, it's your baby girl, bro. That's adorable. And I completely feel you. You know, I'm not at your point yet, but just seeing for me, it's like seeing the months fly by is kind of the same concept, right? It's like, you know, my 9 month old, she in the last month has learned to crawl and say dad, dad, but it's like she does these with ease now. She's crawling all over. And I'm like, you know, I'll be in your position in 10 years, just being like, oh my gosh, dude, where did all this go?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
All right. Yeah.
You
Life's a
blink
trip.
and 2 years go by. It's like, whoa, it's crazy.
Does that make you try to be really intentional when you see your kids? Like, do you just try to treasure every moment or take them to events as often as possible or whatever?
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, like there's like I mean, I don't think anybody is, but I'm not like the greatest father. Like there's times where they've came over for like a weekend and I didn't spend as much time with them as I should have. And I've been trying to improve on that. So like I've been taking them out for hikes and um we always do like movie nights, things
Sweet,
like
man.
that, just to try to spend time together and interact more. And
Yeah.
you know, like take my
Yeah.
daughter to the park, and while we're at the park, there's a skate park, so my son can ride or whatever. I want to do things like that. So it's like we do that occasionally. So
That's cool, man. They'll remember that too. You know, I always had to go to my dad's house every other weekend or, every weekend, whatever. And that's what I remember is the times that he was like doing stuff with me, not the times that like I was on my phone or watching TV or something. So don't beat
yeah,
yourself up too bad, man. I'm sure they really look
No
forward
one's
to it and
perfect.
have fun over there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like I just did Christmas with them. I had them Christmas Eve, and then I had to take them back to their mom's house. And
Tragic. And it's a wrap.
Episode 50 something, maybe 60, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get them to edit your pod, man, but chat,
So trying to make
whoever's
yeah.
listening, Paxton is going to be gone until January 12th. He went to his girls for Christmas, went to Florida. He just got to Florida today, and then we're going to Arizona. He's flying from Florida to Arizona, so there will be no games to Scoot, and this will probably drop after those are already out anyway. But,
Yeah. Dude, he's out there for
we
a while. 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Jeez.
yeah, he went to Dallas like early this week and then spent like a week there going to Florida. He got to Florida today. And then we're both flying to Arizona Friday. So he's got like 5, 6 days in Florida.
Oh,
So
you're going too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
Oh, that's
what
right. Y'all are
happened.
trying to film.
me,
Aren't you trying to get your
Paxton,
last
Josh
clips, right?
Essig.
Oh,
Dude,
with
okay.
Essig, dude.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
dude. And Charlie, and okay, this like, we have had this plan for like 5, 6 months. And now Dissidence is like saying, you can film and edit and enter it to be part of Dissidence. Like they'll pick a winner. So we're gonna try our
Can you hear
best
me
to really
now?
make a sick video and maybe go to Paris.
Okay, you want to
Yeah,
get Josh back in on this real quick?
yeah. Let me throw him in the. I got to change the immersive view real quick.
Yeah, I don't know
Get him
what the
back
heck just
down
happened.
here.
It just randomly booted me.
Right when you left, we
Technology.
both go tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 50 something.
Oh my gosh, Austin, to see you and Pax and whoever else, if y'all actually did win that dissidence thing, oh my gosh, you would be bringing that Texas clout, boy.
Dude, I mean, so they're giving everyone like 3 months to film it, right? And like you have 3 months to film a 4 minute video, and I'm like, dude, we're literally only gonna be out there a week. So we're gonna film our video in a week, just like how they would in Dissidents, and we'll have like obviously Josh is the stunt man, he's gonna go crazy. Me and Charlie are gonna do our unique things. Paxton will play his role, and then Burrito's gonna film it all. So it's
Dude,
like Dude, I really think we just have this like,
brother.
as long
I,
as we do our part, each individually, like
I
could
almost
be
want to say
could be
like
going crazy.
I almost want to say like scrap the clips for your video. I hate to say it, but this opportunity because this is a good lineup. Charlie's got the switch. Josh has the buck stuff, and then you and Pax kind of come in with your own flavors. Like it's hard to nail it down to a specific thing, but like obviously you
Yeah,
contribute in your own ways. Like you're a well-rounded
totally.
team. I would actually
Yeah.
love to see where you guys land on that.
Dude, so we're probably gonna have to do two videos because like Cooper Clark is gonna be out there a lot and like all the AZ homies. So we're gonna film one edit, drop it on 10-4 that's like the whole shebang, like guest clips, maybe more B-roll, and then Paxton's gonna edit one to like 4 minutes exactly, and we'll enter that one to Dissidents.
Okay,
But it's gonna be cool, we're already planning to do this, so now it's
praying
just
for you.
like little extra motivation to not bitch out.
Quit being a little bitch.
Yeah. You never know. You never
Okay,
know.
Josh, and back. You were saying about your daughter?
Yeah, so well no, actually I was talking about Christmas. So
Okay,
Christmas
yes.
Eve,
Right.
I had to do my Christmas with them on Christmas Eve before taking them back to their mom's house. And up until about probably 2 weeks ago, like I wasn't really getting that much hours at work. Like we were getting cut back a lot. And so I ended up even telling my son, like I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford to get anything for Christmas for you guys this year. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. And then I got a good check, and I was like, okay, I'm getting my hours back. All right, let me get a little something. And then next week, I'll definitely get something for my daughter. Next thing you know, I end up buying them like a handful of gifts. So I'm like, okay, we're good. Like,
Hell
it was
yeah.
stressful doing it all last second. Like, I was like, damn, like hitting a hard patch, like with work, with like losing hours. So my checks are lighter, and like food's not getting any cheaper. So it's like I gotta like really budget.
Right.
And thinking I wasn't gonna be able to give them presents, and then I end up surprising them with like a lot of stuff they asked for. So
That's
it
awesome,
was
man.
cool. It was cool seeing their reactions.
Yeah.
So
Fuck yeah, bro.
Beautiful. So
That's
glad that it
awesome.
worked out. Yeah.
yeah,
On a side
had to
note,
find a way.
does that cost of living in California ever like prompt you to consider moving? Just curious.
Oh yeah, like back when I was still with my ex-wife, like when we had bought a house, and before we bought that house, we were talking about potentially moving out of state, and really wish we would have, to be honest, but it is what it is. They got that house there. Now I'm out here.
Where are
Won't be
you?
able to get my own place for a while.
Are you in an
I'm
apartment
in.
right now?
No, I live in my sister's place because basically after the separation, I was not sure where I was going to go, and my sister and my parents both offered, and I took up my sister's offer because if I lived out at my parents' house, it'd be twice the distance to get to my kids.
Hmm.
So I was like, I'd rather live in the middle.
Yeah,
So I took up that offer, and it's been going pretty well. But obviously, I would love to get out on my own, but baby steps.
totally.
Divorce isn't fun.
Do you mind if I ask you maybe it's not personal, but for everybody that's listening, like I don't know, were there any learning lessons from the divorce that you just want to share for the betterment of mankind? I don't know, like your takeaways from it?
Um, trust your instincts. Uh, what else, man? It's hard because like there's certain things that I can say and it'll sound like I'm trying to trash my ex-wife, and I really don't want to do that, even if I'm not very fond of her in certain ways, because we still have to co-parent, and I'm not
Right.
trying to disrespect her. You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
So it's just I'll leave it at that. Trust your instincts. If you feel like anything's off,
Address it.
it's probably a reason why.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
And that's not, and I don't mean that in a way to like put all the blame on her either, because the other thing you got to think about is it's marriage. Like you're working on that together. So I mean, I'm no perfect husband, I'm no perfect father, like so. But whatever does happen in that relationship, just grow from it, take it as a learning experience as best you can, rather than holding resentment.
Mm.
Because believe me, at first, I had a lot of resentment. And in some ways, I still do, but I'm letting go of it because it doesn't make it better, doesn't
Right.
help anybody. All it does is hold you back from growth.
Mm.
So, yeah, just.
That was wise. That was wise.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
It was, man.
The
Yeah,
other thing,
totally.
too, is don't be afraid to ask for help. That's another one.
Totally.
Because, especially with men, like, we're kind of conditioned to think that we have to remain stoic at all times and we need to handle everything. And believe me, sometimes you can, but sometimes you can't. And it's not, it shouldn't be, you shouldn't feel ashamed to ask for help. So,
Totally, man. Totally, bro. Man. Okay, I'm glad that we're like turning it on more positive note here. I didn't I didn't want to end on some sadness. But dude, do you still fingerboard at all? I
Total
know
180.
I know you're
do I
pretty
still fingerboard? Oh my Lord, I left it
He's
on
gonna
my
whip out the
bed.
catalog.
I was gonna whip it out. I was gonna whip out my fingerboard.
pocket
But yes,
check.
I still fingerboard occasionally, yes.
Okay, cool. I know you were pretty into that. And one time we had actually, I think I posted on my story like my DVD collection, and you were telling me about your DVD collection, man. And two questions actually from this. Can anyone see the Storm Scooter video, or is that VHS as well? And then two, what is your favorite scooter video that you have?
Hmm. Um, as far as Storm scooters goes, you can't, it is VHS only. They
Hmm.
don't have it on DVD, at least not that I'm aware of. Um,
Was it mass
you can,
produced?
yes, you can find it. I know sometimes you can find it on eBay.
Cool.
So that's always an option. I know that some of the collectors that sell stuff, sometimes they have copies of it that they might be willing to part ways with.
Right.
But I wouldn't I wouldn't focus too much on that. I'd focus more on like eBay would probably
Yeah.
be a really good place to go. Um, favorite video.
Still waiting on Matt to bear me a Boston Cakes. I know he's not here, but he'll hear it eventually.
As far as videos go,
I heard you, Austin.
man,
I got like 10, 15 spare copies. Obviously, you can have one.
Dude, I need that in the alpaca swag.
Brother, I'll get you the alpaca swag. I will also lend you the actual alpaca swag jacket. Just throwing it out
You're
there.
kidding. I'm gonna
Josh,
hit,
I don't know if you
I'm gonna hit you
go
up in
ahead.
Halloween, October. I'm gonna
You
go
want to look
as
stupid?
Matt
Wear this
Oaklaw.
jacket. Josh, I made a rap album like a decade ago, and it's tragic. It's very pathetic, but it was a good time. Anyway, that is what we were alluding
jeez.
to.
Yeah, just
Okay,
for me,
okay.
not
Now
for
now you're
the.
gonna have to send me the plug because now I want to know.
Dude,
It's
I'll
on
get you it.
YouTube.
I'll get you one of
It's
each
on
too, for
YouTube
sure.
too. Yeah, yeah, I need
Would you,
those.
Josh, would you ever make a Texas trip in the future? Would you ever consider that?
Ironically enough, the woman I was talking about earlier that I was dating, she's moving out there.
Which
Oh,
city?
what part? Yeah.
I don't know if it's close to where you're at, but San Antonio.
Right on the money with this guy. That's like an hour and so for away from me.
You
But
better make this shit
That's
work with
not
this
bad.
girl.
dude, I would come to Matt's. We could do like an in-person pod, get a little skate park sesh or something. The in-person ones are always way cooler, man. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
love the
absolutely.
fact that we can get guys like you on here that aren't close, but they're so much better in person, man. Honestly.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No,
in
that
San
would be
Antonio,
great.
brother. Number one, yeah, if she ever comes out here, like, and you just stay with her, just let me know. I'll drive you. Number two, if you ever want to spend a night at Jenkins' house, like, let me know. We got a room, we got whatever. I would love for you to come chill.
Dude, you're because it's funny because her and I have been talking about me coming out to visit her after she moves out there. So might
Stars
just
are
have to
aligning.
fast forward those plans now.
Dude, that would be legendary, man. I need to see a turn down from both of y'all in person, man. I'm telling you.
You know damn well I can't do a turn down anymore.
You did. All right, dude. I've been trying to learn this trick from Matt for like on and off 10 years. And like last time we rode, I was starting to finally get him. I was realizing that I did look backs the whole time he was trying to teach me a turn down. And
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
I don't get like how the feet go that way, bro. But long story short. Dude, yeah. That's one of my favorite chicks on a scooter, man. And I love y'all's and Andy Koki's. Like and Devin Heald.
Josh, favorite and least favorite turn down that you can recall?
Yeah, here we
I don't want to throw shade at anybody.
We're
go.
not, dude, we're just goofing off. Everyone knows we love everyone.
They won't hear it. We got like barely any viewers.
Uh, Now his didn't look that bad, but they were bow-legged. And I will say I was bow-legged at one point with my turn downs and lookbacks. But who am I kidding? Even though they're bow-legged, they still look good. Dan Barrett, I love him.
I put it in the chat, baby. I knew that was coming. And
Dude,
Dan Barrett has a beautiful, he's got a
he
beautiful turn down and it is bow legged.
It
he
is
I
bow-legged.
was gonna ask, I'm like, okay, don't throw shade at him, but what do y'all think of Dan Barrett's turn downs?
I
That's
love him.
so
I love him,
funny.
dude. But they're
That's
definitely bow
so
legged.
funny. Okay,
But then you
and
got
for
like
me,
Carrie Mosbruckers, straight-legged,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep. Butter. What's yours,
what is
Austin?
the bow leg? Is it like when your knees are bent or they're
Yeah, like your legs kind of posture kind of like this off the front of the
like
scooter.
okay. Like I know
Yeah,
what
you're
Dan
kind of
Barrett's look like and I know like what other people's look like. I just wanted like the actual definition and to maybe put
yeah,
it out there. But
yeah.
I knew it was some legs. Some
Yeah, like instead of your
funky
legs being
legs.
together, like they're kind of separated and bent kind of funny. And it
Okay.
just, people called them bow-legged. So,
Right. It's on history now.
Austin, who's your favorite and least favorite?
I don't even, dude, nobody does turn downs now. And the
They
only
don't.
people that do, they're
Nobody does.
really good. So I can't even really say like a bad turn down. But for me, the most recent and best turn down I saw was in a Badger Clip Florida video. Keith Urban, Devin Heald, just fucking cranked one, man. Went really high in the deep end of a bowl and just fucking clicked it. And I was like, I need to get these. That's all I want to do is go high and just fucking click one, man. Like inverts are sick, T-bogs are sick, but like maybe it's just because I can't do it. The turn down is the fucking one, man. Like I would love to just fucking get a nice street
It's
turn
the
down.
trick. It's so fun. I just lost them. Like my feet slide off now. And it's because the scooter evolved, right? Like I was riding the razors and stuff and it was tiny. So naturally my feet are stuck to it. Whereas
Right.
now I've
yeah.
got so much deck room that my legs are like, my toes are like just
Yeah.
sliding right off.
Yeah.
Josh, do you remember Phil Leggetti's turn downs?
Yes. How he'd like quite literally fold himself and somehow wrap the bars around him.
Yep.
I don't know how, but yeah, it's I referred to that as an Aussie turn down because that's kind of how a lot of those dudes did it. Like Cody Donovan even, because he used to be kind of bow-legged too, and then he just started clicking them over, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like,
I forgot. Yeah, Cody's were a little bow-legged. Did he ever correct that? Did he ever go straight leg by the end of his turn down career?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay.
Like he was every time I've seen him really do it, I've seen him do it pretty much like the way that Phil Leggetti did it. Like
Yeah.
how he folds himself up, like it's crazy looking.
Who are the
Dude,
other Aussie riders I'm forgetting? Like Austin, you probably remember these cats. Like there's a couple other Aussies that had seriously legit turndowns, but they're just I think it was like a couple years after Phil and the Cody tour. I don't remember.
I think
I
even
wouldn't be
Terry
su-
Price had a decent one. Like there was like a lot of Mad Gear guys who were, and my era is probably a little different than like the one y'all are thinking of, but to
Well,
me,
he's UK, but yeah,
oh yeah, he was. Yeah,
you're
totally.
chilling. You're chilling. What
Sorry.
you got, Josh?
I was gonna say maybe like Max Peters.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be one.
yeah. First front
Um,
flip flat too. No
Was
fast
he
plant.
first?
Yeah, I think so. Like straight flat. I've never seen another clip of someone just front flip flat. No fast plant.
that's hectic.
That's
Just throwing
fucking
this out there, it makes
insane.
me sad. I feel like locally Max Peters has a lot of love still, but like you never hear his name get tossed around anymore. And I know that he's got a kid and he's kind of grown out of it a bit or whatever, but like he still rides, right?
I don't think I
I think.
follow him, but
Fair. I don't keep up either, but
man,
he was
he's
goated for many, many years.
same thing with Tyler Bonner, bro. He was my guy. Where like cream of the crop for so long, and then just was gone. And I kind of
He,
know he had
from
a
what
falling off with
I,
alcohol or something, but
well, I thought it was because of his knee injury.
I heard he'd gotten like a DWI or like some DWIs and like just
Damn.
stopped being able to drive and go spots. But like I could totally believe the knee, and I don't even remember who I heard that from. So it's like I really don't know, but that was something I used to ask because I really loved Tyler Bonner, man. He was like
Yeah.
I saw
my
Tyler.
favorite
I saw
screw
Tyler
rider.
4 years ago or 5 years ago, and like I think he went through a phase, and I haven't kept up with him. I can't speak for him. He told me he went through a phase that was, you know, that he was not happy about. Right? I never heard about his knee, but all I know is that when I saw him, he was the homie. He is like, everything you picture in your head about him being great. Like, remember that he is. He's the homie for
Dude,
sure.
when he did the half cab flare at House Park to like Loud by Mac Miller, I'm just like this guy was in Austin? Like fucking A, man. I would have done anything to be at that skate park that time, bro. Like
Okay, let's get into that for a sec too, because it was actually on my list. Josh, give me your top two favorite Macs, and then your top one least favorite Mac Miller album.
ooh. Oh, so a
So
fellow
hold
Mac
on. So
enthusiast, huh?
yes,
Okay.
indeed. So hold
Okay.
on. So okay. So two least favorite and two favorites. I'll start off with the favorites. Circles,
Mm,
and it's a real tough one between. I'll say faces.
okay.
Now, I have heard balloonerism, but it was a long time ago, and I really can't wait for it to come out here in a couple
January,
weeks.
January.
Dude, man.
17th, baby.
Such a random
So I
blessing.
so I'm looking forward to listening to that again and like revisiting that because when I listened to it originally, I wasn't as big of a fan of him as I am now. Um, Least favorite, although it's still a good album, Kids. I'm kind of on the fence about that one.
That was how I got into Mac, honestly. That one's a special one to me.
See, now that's how I originally heard about him. And I
Right.
did listen to him for a little back then, but I didn't really get into him up until like maybe 5, 6 years ago.
Hmm.
Homie Dalton over at the Vault, shout out to him because he turned me on to his newer albums right around the time when Circles was released. So I got to listen to Divine Feminine and Swimming and Good AM and all that. And
It's
yeah,
a good discography, man.
So good.
yes.
Josh, what was the first song you heard off Kids?
Probably Kool-Aid and frozen pizza.
Oh, actually, I rarely hear that.
Na-na-na-na-na-na.
And then Austin, were you Knock Knock?
No, I think mine was Kool-Aid too. It was like the trumpet one, like whatever song that is. I'd have to
That's
like
Trump,
keep
dude. Isn't
playing
that?
it through my head.
No, no, that's Party on
There's a
Fifth Ave,
party
right?
on Fifth
Party on
Ave.
Yeah.
Fifth Ave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to go. But yeah, I heard that one and I think just played the whole kids album. And then I started getting into like, yeah, Knock Knock and whatever that Red album was. We used to bump that one like on the way to
Oh,
San Antonio and stuff.
yeah, watching movies.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Dude, one of my biggest bummer moments I think in life was X Games was in Austin like 2014 or so. Mac Miller and Kanye were playing, and I was there with my buddy Sam Bowen. Like they had came in from Houston, so I was just like with his dad and him. And his dad left like right as Mac Miller started, and I just had to like walk away listening to his concert. And I'm like, oh man, what I would have done to just been able to call an Uber home or
If
something
only
that
Uber was
day,
around,
you
dude.
know? Like, oh man.
That's a tragedy.
Never heard Kanye. I got to at least hear like some Mac, and then on the way out, I was just like, I'll never forget like how bummed I am. Like
Dude,
still to this day, bro.
I think I got really fucked because I went to that X Games too, and I saw Kanye, and he was great. I love Kanye, but I think that the crew that I was with was like, I want to see Pretty Lights instead of Mac Miller. Like, I feel like there's like some sort of like choice that had to be made, and I had to go with the group. Or I should have just not, but
Yeah.
yeah, Miss Mac for sure. Okay, my quick story. I saw Mac Miller in 2015 on the Good AM album tour. Only time I saw him, but I'm so glad I got to see him before he passed. And I went with my brother Austin and
Yeah.
Josh. You know Kyle, my brother. Do you remember his name? Kyle Ogle.
Yeah.
Huge Mac fan. But we went there and it was like the dopest night. It was most dope, like quite literally. And most dope bitch. And we were we were in that line, like we waited in this long line, and we ended up befriending so many of the Mac Miller fans in line, and we talked the whole time. And then like right when we got in the venue, we go in the bathroom, we get super high, right? And right from the get go, dude, like we get really high. This guy is doing the same thing. He walks into the bathroom, but so we're in a stall and we're smoking, I don't know what we're like a bong or a pipe or whatever my brother has. So we're getting high in the bathroom. This guy, I hear him going, he's doing like some heavy nostril noises, right? And dude, probably within 30 seconds of those noises, we just hear him collapse on the ground. He falls on the ground. We walk out there and he is limp on the ground for like 2 minutes. And my brother and I, we're like the high starting to kick in and we're like, oh, what do we do? And so like I started poking him. I'm like, buddy, are you okay? Are you okay? And then like a zombie, bro, he just went like this. He was like, all right, I'm okay. Let's do this. And he just got up and left. And that was that.
But he went to a K-hole real quick.
She was
Holy
hysterical,
shit.
man. And the concert was a banger, but like such a good night.
I love that. I actually, the other day on my Instagram was scrolling and I guess I'd got through like who I was following, but it started, this one video came up of like an old Mac Miller concert. And I like watched the whole video and it kind of started to get into my algorithm. And ever since then, man, I've just been like watching these old concert videos of Mac and I'm like, like, what a fucking beautiful person, man. Like, what a time. What a fucking artist, you know?
I wish I could have saw him live too. But unfortunately, I wasn't as much of a fan, at least until after his passing. So,
Did you get into him like post divorce? Like, was that like a way that you refound him?
no, like
No.
I
Okay.
was listening to him when I was still working at the vault, and yeah, so it was like probably like a couple years before, 2, 3 years before, I think. So yeah.
Okay.
It's dope, man.
Just curious. I mean, his music's so deep. It's like I feel like I find myself gravitating to him when times are tough or when I just need to like. There's like certain moments where I'll throw on the album and I need to feel that way for that moment.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Totally, man.
I feel
All right,
that.
I'm starting to cash out, boys. I'm personally getting a little tired, and I've got a Papa Murphy's that's waiting. I have one last question for you, Josh. I did put that thing in. Okay, what's our question going to be? Oh yeah, Josh, I'm curious. Like, we can't cover every question. and this is your moment to boast if you had one. Like, is there anything that you want the scene to know or remember about you?
Mhm. Uh, I don't know. I don't know, honestly.
What's your
I feel
favorite
like
trick you've ever
I
done?
feel I mean, I feel like some riders need to appreciate not even just about like my like contributions to the industry, but like all of us like older guys that lived through that toy phase and bringing it out of that and into something real, like our own
Mm,
thing.
mm,
Um, being a little more understanding and appreciative of where we had to come from, because I feel like at least I haven't really seen as much of the hate recently, but a lot of riders that are like, oh, like you just did this in that old video from 15 years ago. Like I can do that with this. And it's like, well, cool, but you're doing it on something that's made to do it, Like we were quite literally riding toys, like
yeah.
glorified toys that we modified to maybe help us out a little. You know what I mean? But appreciation. I'd say that. It'd be nice to have a little bit of appreciation for a lot of us, Matt included, like putting your body through hell. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of us, like older guys, kind of get shit on by a lot of the younger riders nowadays. Like they feel like, oh, like you're a dinosaur and it doesn't
Fuck these
matter.
new riders, bro.
Yeah, like I just like it doesn't matter what you did back then,
Yeah.
but it's like you look at any other industry, that's how it is. Like you see all the OG dudes, they like new dudes are like, holy shit, like even though it's like a simpler trick, but like you did the first one of these, or you're the guy that like pushed that out there, like there's appreciation there for like certain things like that. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's kids aren't as appreciative nowadays
Yeah.
of the types of struggles that we had to go through, you know. So,
They'll never even know the slightest, you know? As I said earlier, they're just gonna get their complete, build it out the box, and do a double bri. And it's just like, that's cool, but like, you would never even, these kids would never fucking ride one of those foldables the way y'all rode them. Like, I guarantee that, you know? And
yeah.
that's what makes me like respect y'all. So I see those videos when I watch they're literally grown ass men on these little tiny fucking scooters. Like it looks crazy, bro. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, if I wouldn't have gotten to scootering when I was young, there's no way I would see someone and be like, that's what I'm gonna do, you know? And so it's just like so much respect for y'all for not only like modifying and riding literally the worst version of the scooter, but taking the most hate, you know? Like even when I started riding, scooters were like I had a district after my razor. There was a bunch of companies, but like I still got called a scooter fag. I still got shit on, but it's like probably nothing compared to what y'all were getting, you know, in every aspect. And so I totally want to encourage these kids too to fucking take the stick out of their ass and like look at life with the fucking half glass, you know? Like
Yeah, what's pretty demoralizing is when you're riding a scooter at a skate park and one of your favorite pro skaters comes in and is the biggest asshole to you just because you ride a scooter.
literally.
Not even realizing that at home I've got his fucking deck. I've got his shoe sponsors' shoes. Like, not realizing that. And Okay, I'm gonna put him on blast. It doesn't really matter anymore now. But Jeremy Ray, Brea Skate Park. Me, Ricky, Chris, and I think Eric Carlson. That's another guy from the MBS crew from back in the day. Um, Shout out to Eric. Um, we were riding Brea Skate Park. He shows up. He starts snaking us. Like we're riding the same spot for like a half hour straight, even before he even showed up to the park. And he starts snaking us and then flipping out, saying that we're getting in his way. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, you really want to be an asshole about this? He starts calling us scooter fags and all this shit. And it's like, wow, dude. Now, he skated for Element and Audio. I could have been petty, but I'm not generally that type of person. I could have just as easily reached out to Element and Audio and been like, hey, I was just at Brea Skate Park yesterday and Jeremy did this and that. And so, just a heads up, like, you lost me as a customer because of him. I hope his salary that you're paying him is worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I could be petty like that. Not gonna, but
That's a
yeah.
tragic,
I
bro. Because
never did.
I used to rep those audios, man. Like I wore probably two or three iterations of those audios, and I never have heard this story.
Yeah. So it's like I stopped wearing audio shoes. I stopped buying Element decks specifically because of him.
Damn.
And it's like that's one thing that people need to think about too when they're at the park. Any of these dudes that are like, well-known riders or whatnot, like that kid that you might be like giving a little attitude for because he gets in your way, like he could be the next you. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's like,
Totally.
is it really worth it to be an asshole to that kid? Because you could quite literally turn him off of riding scooters. You know,
Yeah.
it's like they're looking at you like, oh, he's a pro rider. He's kind of an asshole. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
be that. You know?
Dude, and that's something I think more scooter riders now need to realize is like you have power in yourself to like rep and support what brands you think deserve it, you know?
Vote with your dollar.
Yeah, totally. Support the ones that actually deserve it and that actually do stuff for scootering, not the ones that are whatever you want to say, you know? I don't want to
Trying
get
to
into
cash
it,
in on the
but
cash cow.
yeah, if it's not rider owned or even if it is rider owned, like I don't even want to say them, but like if they're not doing
Don't.
stuff for their team, you know, or like at least making scooter videos, if all they're doing is just Instagram and signature parts, like it's just a scam, bro. They're just trying to push their shit onto you. They don't care about scootering. And
Yeah.
so I think we need to support the ones that do and that are actually here for the community and their riders and their supporters instead of the ones that are just making money and getting a nice crib and car and doing their thing, you know?
The ones that are actually contributing to the culture.
Totally.
That's
Totally. Like,
important.
you know, innovating new parts, putting on like new contests, you know, sending their riders somewhere to just have a trip and scooter and like do what they love, but also, you know, making a video for the people. It's like, it's so easy, I feel like, but there's just so many kids that there's no real like history of scootering, you know? So these guys just get into it and go based off what the group chat says and what the group chat says to get or whatever. And it's like, I don't know. We need to like let them know from the older guys and the people that are sponsored, just kind of like what's up behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah.
And hopefully start to like have some history so these guys can learn about the OGs and start to respect them because a lot of the time they don't even know. Like one of the editors for this pod when Zig Short came up was like, "Who's Zig Short?" And I'm like, "Brother, come on. Like I'm not that old, bro. Like, come on. Zig Short, bro. Like I don't know. But it's just like that disconnect, man. Like they really only know the guy doing it right now, and that's all they care about. Nobody really cares to like
Well,
learn
that's the
and
guy that he's chasing
totally, totally.
versus looking at the overall picture. How did he get there?
Yeah,
Or how did he get there?
totally. I get that for the younger kids, and I think everyone eventually comes around. Like when I was a young scooter rider, I was literally Matt called me little shit for fucking years. I didn't care. But it gets to a point where now I'm like, okay, like less is more. Like I want to learn like the roots of the sport and talk to these guys and just figure it out. It's
Yeah, throwing
very
this out
different.
there, I'd love to hear your take on this, Josh. Something that I want to do maybe in a couple of years, or something I want to do, something I will do because I am that guy, but like I'll do it. I want to get all of the OGs, like a yearly thing going, or maybe bi-yearly, so it stays exciting, right? It doesn't get too repetitive. But I want to start this thing where potentially like at the next crib, which I hope we'll have maybe like a guest house or I guess something like somewhere where we can shove all these riders, all the OGs. I want to do an invite only like OG event and have it switch up. Like it could be like 8 or 10, maybe 10 OGs and 10 new young blood, and then like 2 filmers or something like that. But get something together to where folks like us, right? Like the OGs, but I want to connect it to the new riders too, because again, it's like we're nothing without these new riders that are still riding. Like our sport could dissolve and we would be nothing. Like I have a lot of gratitude for the new gen too, in the same
Yeah.
way that I do for you and for the old gen. But I'm like, I would love to get maybe a bi-yearly thing going where we're all together and we're just filming this kick-ass video. It could be like, the Texas Throwdown, something like that. I don't know. It could be
Yeah,
whatever format we decide, but like it needs to mostly just be a party. I just want to get all these like young and old riders together, shotgunning some beers or whatever, just playing whatever this looks like, right? But like, I think that's going to be a good way to bridge that gap, that disconnect
totally.
between the young and the old.
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that would be so cool.
You'll be in the first round of invites, Josh. So like, keep riding, stay fresh.
Uh, that's awesome, man. That
Because I
sounds
kind of
cool.
had something similar, but it was kind of inspired by they have like an OG's BMX event at Woodward West every now and again. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but I had like a similar idea, basically do that for scootering. It was just a matter of whether or not anybody would be able to come out, you know? That's the big thing. Because
I
it's
feel like
not
the
like
key is to make it exclusive. Like I'm a huge inclusive person. I hate that it would have to be this way, but it really does. Like if I'm gonna get the guys I want out there, might be like you, Dan Barrett, Ryan Upchurch. Like I don't know, right? But it's like the older gen and the newer gen. To get everyone there, it's got to be exclusive and it has to be done right. And like I know Austin can testify on my behalf that if I put my mind to it, like I will make an event fucking fire, and it'll be like so sick. We'll have just two 3 full day or like 3 full days, 2 nights of just like going hard,
Mhm.
whatever this looks like. But like it would be fun, bro. I'm like, it's the whole point is like I want to get all this out in like in like an abandoned like get like 3 kegs, scatter them across like an abandoned football field, and just like have like a party night where there's like crazy stuff going on, and we're making memories like one young gen or like one new blood is like talking shit, right, or something, and then I don't know, like Casey Corning gets pissed off and he's like, "What did you say?" Like toasted or something. I don't know, like building
it
memories like
sounds like a
that to where
reality show.
that's what I'm saying. But that's like it'll be the morning after, bro. They'll have cried it out, hugged it out, and it'll build these bonds. Like I just want to build bonds between the new and the young, or the new and the old, so that like we can start like what I mean, like weaving
Totally.
together these relationships, and then they
Bridge the
then that
gap.
those new riders can then transfer
Yeah,
that to the newest riders after them, and that's how it lives on to me.
Yeah.
totally.
No, no, I dig it.
Totally.
I totally see the vision. Definitely.
Dude, I'm so glad that you had like the same vision. I feel like a lot of us have this vision. I won't ramble on anymore about it, but I'm like, if we come together and get these riders that care, like you, whoever else that would be, like, yeah, McKean, I'd love to get. I mean, McKean would be critical for the first year. But anyway, like, and dude, and McKean will get Riley when he gets drunk. Like, I would love to see a Riley Youngblood and a Riley McKean just like headlocking each other. I don't know, bro, but that would be fun.
Don't invite both of us.
Austin starts talking shit.
Stop with that repost
Just
shit.
chirping in his ear and shit.
You should do that, Austin. Just do it on purpose. Just talk some shit just for the drama.
You know I would.
I know
If
you
there's
would.
a greater cause for it, I will. Sometimes someone has to get on the tracks.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all
for the
right.
betterment of scootering.
As long as it saves future trains or something, it's all right.
Right. It's good for the environment.
Evolution, they say. Ah, well, dude, this was honestly super fun. I also kind of want to eat some food, and the dog's been whining at me, so I'm gonna take her out. But, dude, I would love to, if not ever in person, just like one day revisit another podcast, and just continue to hear more about you, hear more about the old days, old riders, and I think it's really beneficial for the sport and anyone that cares to listen. So
For
totally
sure.
really
No, thank you
appreciate
for
you
having
coming
me.
on, man. Dude, it's truly an honor. It's fucking I have a lot of respect for you and Matt and other people that are just have been around and are still, if not riding all the time, down to get involved and talk about it. Like did a pod with Stefan Hefner and he doesn't want to release it, and I'm like, dude, like we need to get
Come
this
on,
out. We need to get this
Stefan.
out there, man. Like
You're bringing
such
this up.
such a good call. He will never listen to this. He will
Yeah,
never.
you're
I
right.
could I could drop that podcast and he would never know
You're probably
unless
right.
someone literally told him. It's just like, man, we need openness. I don't care if like it was bad or good or you're in a bad spot or whatever. It's like let's just have a good fun couple hours where we can talk about scooter history and your experience with scootering.
Yeah, I'll get my closing words real quick. Josh Toy, I dressed up as you in 2004 for Halloween, bro, and my buddy was Casey Corning. Like, you have got a serious influence on this sport. You're as OG as they come. You were idolized by many when we were growing up. So thank you for your contributions to
Mm,
scootering. Thank you for joining this podcast, Austin. Thank you for hosting.
of
Much love.
course, man. Of course, bro. So sweet.
Still
You
have
got
my Scooter Insanity shirt.
really?
Means the world. I know you do, bro. You'll send it to me here and there. I appreciate that.
Man. Yeah, we need one day, Josh, like just a video of all your scooter relics, like some shirts, some DVDs, some parts. Like I feel like that'd be so cool just to see what you have. I feel
I've
like
thought about doing that too.
yeah, it'd be cool. I feel like you were just so tapped in with like most people at that point that you were on the cutting edge, like getting their shirts,
Well,
their parts or whatever, and you
Josh is
probably still have
also the
it.
one that actually has a discography and releases it. Like you've done this, Josh. He will post all the old footage, all the old whatever. So like you are the guy for that,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I was on your
Yeah,
YouTube channel earlier, and it was the NBS 4. I think it was uploaded 16 years ago, but I'm like, I know that's 20 years old or whatever. Like I know that's way older. So it's fucking
Yeah,
cool, man. It's fucking we need to preserve it, and I respect you for putting it out. It's
I
fucking
appreciate the kind words from both of you.
of course, man. Of course, man.
all right, gents, let's tap out. I'm hungry. Love you guys.
Let's do it. Much love. If you made it this far, over and out.
Very shocked if you did. Okay, love you guys. Bye.